Welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody hit that like and subscribe. You know I would do it for you. And let's party. A lot of heavy stuff been going on, and I figured we needed to take a step back and have a little bit lighter of a party. Maybe not. And I thought Morty was coming to join me. Oh, is he coming to join me? There he is. Shout out to him. Come on. There he is, the co-host, the overlord. Don't forget, every donation comes with a treat for Morty. Yeah, but things have been, heavy with all this World War III and Iran and Israel. And so I figured we need something a little bit more lighthearted. And I figured let's check out one of Charlie Kirk's events, the American comeback at, UCR, California University. Should be fun. As always, guys, if you cannot hear the video, please do let me know.
God bless California. God bless America. Let's get started.
Hello. What's up, Charlie? Hey, dude. So first out, welcome to California, Riverside. What's up, Riverside? How's everyone doing so far? Yeah. All right, cool. So I'm just gonna get started. Typically, I agree on a lot of stuff that you state. So literally in everything. The only reason I came up to debate was about abortions and rape abortions. And so recently, I was kind of for abortions, pro-choice. I recently had a daughter.
For abortions before he said pro-choice. Very different thing. But he's both.
So recently, I was kind of for abortions, pro-choice. I recently had a daughter. She's 7 weeks old, and I can't imagine living without her, so I appreciate it. And my only concern as I was thinking about it, it's just hard for girls that do happen to get raped, whether they're unconscious and drugged or just whatever happens, incest or whatever. Would you be able to just defend just any abortion or non-abortions on rape? And if I could just hear your point of view on that.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for
He's going to go straight to, there's somebody who was conceived by rape in the audience. Can you tell who that is?
Faith question, and praise God that you welcome the daughter into this world. That's the best thing you said. Look, needless to say, rape is a tragic thing, and it's terrible. We believe that abortion is the taking of a life, which would be murder. Can I do a thought exercise with you? Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I actually have a picture. I brought it here because I do this so many times. So I have two ultrasounds here. You know what ultrasound is.
Yeah, that was the other one. It's either the person in the crowd or two ultrasounds. Which one of them was conceived by rape?
This isn't the dolphin, is it?
No, these are two human beings.
Okay.
No.
All right.
One of these two ultrasounds is a baby conceived in rape. Which one is it?
I'm assuming the one on the left.
Why?
No.
No, okay. Oh, you know what? I don't know.
Can't tell, can ya?
You get the point?
Yes.
They're both human beings.
Okay.
Regardless of the method of conception, they're both human beings.
Awesome. Okay.
And it's not a gotcha. I just want you to think about it, because these are both human beings made in the image of God. The process of conception does not give you more or less rights.
Of course.
And so we also do not believe that an evil action after an evil action is the right course. And so we
two wrongs don't make a right.
Believe that a human being must be protected. We must be consistent in that. And I've met thousands of people now across the country, hundreds, I'll say, of people that were conceived in rape. And the mom was courageous enough to bring that baby to term. And now they're able to live amazing lives. And so we must be consistent that human beings are made in the image of God. They have a soul, and that just because of the method of conception, you don't get to have your life taken away from you.
Yes, sir. Now,
and guys, don't forget, if we hit that swole goal, indeed, you are going to have to make me do push-ups. My arms are tiny, but it is a peanut butter night. Make sure you check the goal at the top of the chat over the poll. Morty, the overlord, can get some peanut butter if we get 15 supers or a $50 total.
What about the trauma that it may or may not bring the mother? Just kind of living on her own self, maybe can't defend having the baby just because she wasn't ready in the first place. And, now her whole life just got switched around. If you can explain that for me, please.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a false choice because an abortion can also be very traumatic as well. To say that there's that abortion.
I actually don't hear that brought up that often. That like, oh, you went through this trauma, so now you're going to go get an abortion. But that abortion is very likely to have maybe not just as much trauma, but its own trauma. And if you've already been through something, then adding more trauma is probably not a good idea. And as he just found out, bringing a life into the world is something that people tend to enjoy and feel proud of.
Abortion is just like getting a haircut. It's nonsensical. It's not just a cosmetic procedure.
Yeah, I agree.
And so we acknowledge, of course, that there can be trauma, but trauma is never an excuse for taking a life. If you say, I have a mental health issue, are you allowed to take somebody else's life? Of course not. No. That's never morally defensible. Under no moral framework are we able to say that that is true or correct.
Cool. I appreciate it. Also, I have a second question real fast.
Really quick.
I'm sorry. So we're 5 months into the President Trump's presidency, and a lot of Democrats will state, like, oh, he's doing this wrong and this. The gas prices are still up. The food is still up. When do you think we will see change?
Well,
I mean, I've seen gas prices go down. I live in Jersey, and I'm looking at like $2.60 something, which, could definitely go down more, but it was almost $3. It was almost $4 at one point.
Gas prices in California are up. Actually, across the country, they're going down dramatically. Okay. One of the reasons is that Gavin Newsom and Democrats have intentionally done this.
Boo.
You shouldn't have done. The way that, again, it's a little wonky, but it's a refinery issue. You guys have made a decision here in this state to have intentionally high gas prices. And because of that, your leaders here in California, they basically almost wanted to make it impossible to own a petroleum-based, petroleum-fired vehicle. And we want to try to bring gas prices down for all Americans. One of the reasons why I hope that you guys get a new governor in 2026.
Bianco, baby. Awesome. Would you mind?
Thank you.
Can I come shake
Yeah,
your
sure.
hand?
Of course. You would like a hat too. Yeah. God bless you, man. Thank you.
Like,
Here's
I
your
don't
hat.
want
Thank
that.
you.
I don't want that.
Next question. Great. Thank you.
All right. So starting off with the pretty strong. Nothing too crazy, but I have a feeling it's gonna heat up.
Well, good afternoon.
That's a big dude.
Been a long-time fan, but
Thank you. Just talk right into the mic if you can, please.
Oh, okay. The topic I want to discuss with you today is it's on reparations, but more so why there's a bias towards Black Americans when it comes to reparations now.
Because it's specifically asking for a bias towards Black Americans.
I understand
Equal and opposite reactions.
No Black American alive has ever been a slave. I acknowledge that. However, sorry. The point I wanted to make is that reparations have been given to other ethnic groups, Asian Americans for their incarceration during World War II, Native Hawaiians.
But in your own point, weren't those people that were actually affected by that?
Sorry, I wrote it all down, but even former slave owners, specifically the ones in the North that had to give up their slaves, they were compensated for former slaves. However, why is it that when it comes to Black people receiving reparations, there seems to be a lot of pushback to the point where now, now it's almost laughable to even think about Black people getting reparations for something in the past?
Because as we just said, the reparations that were given to the Asian Americans were the actual people who were interned. Same thing with the Hawaiians. At least the ancestry was traced. Now it's just it has nothing to do with color.
Well, for any of those examples, was there intergenerational reparations given?
No.
So they're not necessarily applicable, right? So those were the actual people that received it because a wrong was done to them.
Correct.
We're talking about something 150 years removed. And also, not every Black person is a descendant of slaves.
Correct.
Some are mixed race. Some are able to prove that. But I think more importantly, we should ask the question, have we spent a lot of money on the Black community the last 50 years? And if so, has it worked?
It's a good question. Because
yes, we spent a lot of money. No, it has not worked.
I mean, obviously, there are certain communities in Black America that are not so great. Some of the traumas and problems they have are of their own making. I acknowledge that. Thankfully, I was raised away from all that, 2 loving parents. And
that's the greatest thing that you are, one of the, if not the greatest. And that's my hope for every child, Black, white, or Asian, to have 2 parents. That is a ticket.
Not Latino, though.
To success. Please continue.
But the example I wanted to use was the 2 Tulsa survivors. They tried, they're aged, over 100 years old. They've tried to sue the Oklahoma government for reparations for their lost property. And they were actually denied reparations. And to me, when I read about that, because
the way that he's framing it already makes me think that this is not as simple as he's making it seem. Because if you're talking about a family or people who actually experience some direct, some direct systematic racism or something, then they should be able to bring a case against whatever jurisdiction that is. And it wouldn't be reparations. It would just be, money owed.
Because that, to me, that was kind of the test to see, like, okay, they say reparations shouldn't go to people who weren't directly affected. Well, here we have two people who were directly affected, who were there, and they were still denied reparations. So to me, that kind of confirmed that it was never about who was directly affected or not. To me, it just sounds like there's a bias towards Black Americans.
Okay, I don't know about that instance. I'll look into it. But more broadly, I do want to just repeat the point, and something to think about. You don't have to answer it. That we've spent trillions of dollars on trying to improve the well-being of Black Americans since the 1960s. And actually, Black America is poorer per capita and on average in relation to other groups than it was in the 1960s. So I would argue it's actually not a resource or a money thing. It's a values thing. And the values, unfortunately, that are predominantly in the Black community right now are quasi-suicidal.
Yep.
Fair point.
As I've said so many times, I think the Black community TM and this ideology is the biggest thing that hurts Black Americans.
But yeah, basically, I just wanted you to, I didn't know if I was going to change your mind, but it's something I wanted you to think about.
I'll research the example that you gave. And thank you for watching our content and being a supporter.
Definitely.
Would you like a hat?
Signed hat?
Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, man.
Pretty
it's great.
tame
Thank
so
you.
far. Oh, lady.
It's right here. Okay. Hi, good afternoon. So my sense today is honestly on immigration. So
A shout out to equality and deference because vagina. Welcome to the party. Said liked and shared. Thank you so very, very much. You know how much that stuff helps. I don't know where everybody is. You're the first one here. Welcome to the party.
hi, good afternoon. So my sense today is honestly on immigration. So I think
Of course.
does that sound better?
Come on, TPUSA. Let's cut that,
Okay.
that stuff out. Let's clean this up a little bit. We don't need to watch the person walking to the table and walking away from the microphone. Let's just get to it. He said, I don't like a football head, but he's right about college. For sure.
Okay, so my stance today is on immigration. I think that immigration contributes a lot to America. So my parents did come here legally, and they right now are in the process again, and it takes a long time. No, they came here legally, like they came with their visa, and now they're renewing it, and it's a different process right now. But so I'm really religious. I'm Catholic. My parents grew me up that way. And in Matthew 2:13-15, it talks about how Jesus had to flee Bethlehem, sorry. He had to flee because someone was going to die. And they were looking to kill him. And he had to flee his own country and leave everything behind because the angel spoke to Mary and Joseph that they should leave. So a lot of people do that. That's why they immigrate to the United States. A lot of people have to leave everything behind because not everyone just wants to pack up all the things and leave. Right now, I personally would hate if I had to sell my car, my house, leave my parents.
This is just the emotional argument. Like, the fact of the matter is, yes, that stuff does suck. And it is a big decision to decide to be living in one of these countries and pick up whatever you can and come to America. That doesn't mean that we don't have laws that need to be followed. You don't just get to have a sob story and get citizenship. That's not how it works.
Leave my friends and leave everyone. So I just want to know what your stance is on that, just because in the Bible it talks about that.
Does it though? That was like Ted Cruz trying to say that the Bible said that we've got to fight for Bibi Netanyahu.
Right. So first of all, Jesus actually didn't emigrate. He stayed within the confines of the Roman Empire because Egypt was actually under Roman jurisdiction. That's a separate point. But there are plenty of verses that says you should welcome the stranger. And so I will grant you that. I guess the first point I would have to ask is, should immigration always benefit the home country?
I think so, yes. And that is one thing that I looked into. So there are immigrants
And how is MS-13 doing that?
right now working here, correct? And they get some of their paycheck cut off, right? Because of Social Security and all those benefits. But they don't get those benefits because they're illegal
So do you
immigrants.
mean legal or illegal immigrants? That distinction is very important.
Illegal. They don't get those benefits.
Right. So
And
let's just be clear. If they have a Social Security number, how'd they get that?
the right way.
They stole it. You don't get a Social Security number as an illegal, period. It does not happen. They
And-
stole it.
Okay.
So that's an act of
Whoopsies.
theft.
And
So they
not-
stole an American Social Security number to be able to work here, which drives down wages, which drives down opportunity costs. But even beyond that, we just have to look at their action.
I would actually love to do a little bit of a deep dive into how that works, because I mean, I would assume that it's the Social Security number of TED people, but like, if not, how does that work?
They were not invited to come to this country. They broke in line. They cut in line. And we should not reward line cutters or border jumpers. We should reward people like your parents that actually came here legally to this country.
Shout out to Papa Lunch.
Yeah, I understand that point. I really do. But sometimes people genuinely need to leave their country because in like my mother's case, for instance, there was like a terrorist attack on my family. And that's the reason my mom had to come. And thankfully, she did get it immediately. But now I've heard of so many stories where people have to wait like 10 years, 20 years, even 30 years. Like my grandma right now is trying to get the process. And
don't you think that if less people were trying to come in illegally and we were better able to use the systems already in place, that it wouldn't take that long? Shout out to Ty. Welcome to the party that didn't vote. I'm a spy in the house. I'm going to assume that is our running poll. It is a bad look for Charlie to be debating college kids. Agree or disagree? Replay gang, let me know in the comments. Ty, welcome to the party.
And thankfully she is now, but it's taken her about 10 years now, and she makes enough money in her country and she just wants to come here as a tourist. That's the main reason. And I do understand that. I think that my main point is that how we should implement more money into the immigration system, because Trump's zero tolerance policy, felt cruel, because there's a lot of people here that are doing well and zero tolerance. They just have to leave the country. I feel like that was inhumane of him.
Yeah, but it's not there.
And how long was it not a zero tolerance thing? How long was it? Well, if you could get by, if you're not, harming anybody, if you're just working a job, then we'll leave you alone. For a long time, that's basically how it was. And then everybody flooded the border. And now this is why we can't have nice things.
Their country, though. And that's so let me just, if I went to Mexico without being invited or allowed, and I took a job, and the Mexican government found out, what would the Mexican government do to me?
I'm not sure.
They would send me back to America.
You out.
And why was the reason you left the U.S. first?
Well, again, okay, as far as the audio guys, we're going as loud as the university allows us. There's a decibel count, so we're going to keep pushing the amount as much as we can, okay?
You're saying that you're not voting, but saying that it's not cool for him to act superior. What do you mean act superior? Because I don't necessarily get the sense that he's acting superior. I think he's just confidently expressing better ideas. That's the way I see it. Or is that the same thing? Or is there any difference?
So we get in trouble, I'll blame all of you. So reason, that's an interesting thing. Is there ever a legitimate reason, in your opinion, to commit a crime?
No.
Yes.
Well, then the reason doesn't matter. Because under that say, can you rob a bank?
Yes, there's absolutely a reason to commit a crime. Like if somebody is, I don't know. I don't have a great example off the top of my head, but there's situations where like I'll take a charge for this, and the understanding being the justification for doing what I want to do is against the law, but I'm willing to do that anyway.
Bank because you wish you had more money.
No, you work harder.
Then why doesn't that moral standard apply to immigration?
Because the system isn't doing its job. That's why I think we should implement more money. Because there is some people, like I do get it. Some people come here, and then I do admit some of them commit crime, but not all of them.
No, but they're all criminals if they came illegally. That's the distinction. By definition, they're breaking federal law 8 U.S.
Yeah, that was a civil offense.
USC 1312. Just their presence here is against the law.
And let's say you're here in the U.S., okay? You have, from what I think I've heard, I think you have 2 daughters, correct?
Daughter and a son.
Daughter and a son. Okay. You have a daughter and a son.
I did not know that Charlie Kirk had kids. What is, I'll leave that one to you and me, Equality.
I think you have 2 daughters, correct?
Daughter and a son.
Daughter and a son. Okay. You have a daughter and a son. Let's say someone is attacking your family, targeting you guys. You love your children, I'm assuming.
Well, hold on. I actually, every day we get death threats, so this is not an abstraction, and I'm not leaving America.
That makes sense, but because the United States,
so it's actually very real. Every day someone says they want to murder me and kill my family. I'm staying.
But has anyone genuinely ever, driven to your house, done, a drive-by?
I'm not going to get into
Honey, that doesn't matter. You're setting up a situation where somebody's life is in danger. Now, whether or not that is a legitimate threat, you don't wait to find out. And that's the argument that you're making. But you're saying the threats that you don't, nobody's ever driven to the house, but we're getting threats and this, that, and the other. So let's go to a different country where we're not invited. Like, what? Ty said, I'm biased. I've spent mucho time in Mexico and have listened to their plight. Okay, say more on that. What specifically was so biasing?
I'm Stan.
But has anyone genuinely ever like driven to your house, done like a drive-by?
I'm not going to get into the details, but plenty of people have been arrested trying to kill me.
Benny, okay.
So I mean, but here's the idea.
Not the gotcha you thought it was, huh, sweetie?
And by the way, if we apply that logic, that if somebody is in danger, they're allowed to come to America, would you be okay welcoming 500 million people into America?
That's why we should implement the system to understand each
No, you got to answer.
case.
Do you think 500 million people would be too many people?
500 million? I don't even think that would fit the United States.
I agree. And that's the point, is that if everyone all of a sudden declared that their life was in danger, we'd have to let in like all of Nicaragua, all of Honduras, almost all of Venezuela. The standard all of a sudden starts falling apart. And we find,
and then America becomes just like those countries. So nobody nobody's having a good time. Colin said his wife is a former beauty queen. Really? Let's take a peek. Kirk wife. What you look like? All right, I'm not mad at that. We got always the small ones. Not bad. Interesting. Shout out to Charlie Kirk on that one.
Honduras, almost all of Venezuela. The standard all of a sudden starts falling apart. And we find that people lie about this. They deceive it. Here's my perspective. Why don't we try to empower those people to make the countries they're coming from greater and stronger, or else this problem will actually never be fixed at the root level?
Great. So Ty was saying I'm biased. I've spent a lot of time in Mexico and listened to their plight, saying they're fucking human beings living in abject poverty, striving for the illusion of freedom. And I definitely understand, at least intellectually, I understand that is the case. But again, the sadness of that, as Charlie was just talking about, that cannot be the standard. Otherwise, we're all going to be living in abject poverty, striving for the illusion of freedom. I can, you're saying, listen to their plight. Yes, I understand that. Again, my parents are immigrants, and they, had a really rough time coming to this country and building up their wealth, and were able to give me and my siblings a great life. And I mean, that's not, it's not like they were living in abject poverty. It's not like they were living, the gangs were going after them and stuff. But point being, there has to be a standard, and sadness cannot be the standard. I can definitely be sensitive to the plight, but yeah, and I think we all understand that. I think that it goes without saying that it's not a nice thing to have to leave your home country and to try to live as an illegal immigrant somewhere. I get that, but that doesn't change the law. It just doesn't. And so maybe we don't talk enough about the fact that we do actually understand that it's a shitty situation. But no matter how shitty, it is what it is.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense, and I wish it was that easy. So, for instance, I am part Peruvian, and in Peru, so they were having a presidential election, and the president who was going to win was better for the country and would help out a lot more. But since it's corrupt, they made the other president win. They sent him death threats, nearly almost killed him. He had to fake his death and leave, and they jailed her. They jailed her completely, and they let the guy win. That is why it's corrupt. It's hard to fix a country when there's no help towards it. So Peru they were rooting for the good president. They were rooting to build their system back up. But the other president, it was rigged. It was completely
right. So that's what Charlie's saying, is that I would rather be in a position to not have to spend all this money on people here now, and be able to work with those either the governments or the groups to help them fix their own country. We cannot fix the world.
completely rigged.
So does it make it better or worse if millions of people leave that country? For Peru.
Can you, what do you mean by
if 3 million people left Peru, does Peru get greater or weaker? Stronger or weaker?
Because the people that are leaving are the ones that want the change.
Neither. I mean, it's in a weak state right now.
I mean, it's pretty obvious. I'm trying to even say that mass immigration is bad for everybody. It's bad for America, and it's bad for the country that people are leaving from. The only difference is that they send back American money through remittances that actually subsidize this entire thing. Let me ask one final question. If somebody comes into America without invitation and they are illegal, what do you think the penalty should be?
Right to jail.
It's humane to look at their case and why they had to leave everything they've ever known.
We believe that we should send them back to their country of origin.
That's it. It's just that simple.
I just want to make one more final point. So I do understand that, but my final point is that, do you agree that we should implement more money to the immigration system?
No, I think we should have no immigrants in the country for the next 10 years. We have way too many people in this country, and I'll prove it to you here in California.
A lot of immigrants feel exactly the same way.
Your hospitals are overrun. Your schools are overrun. You guys agree that you have a crowded state right now?
Yep.
We are California is a cluttered state with social
what,
services
guys?
that are being.
Guess what? New Jersey, my home state, is the #1 most densely populated state. So it just can't happen.
Strained, and we need a pause on all immigration, in my opinion, to metaphorically digest the major meal that we just ate, or else we are going to have a major assimilation problem, cultural problem, cohesion problem, all sorts of issues. And I know this is a provocative thing to say, but immigration is something that you use as a way to benefit the homeland. You don't have to have immigration.
But just as an example, my parents came here, like I said, legally $0, and they have benefited so much to the country. They have made so much, like hundreds and thousands of dollars.
Praise God, that's the American dream.
Right. That's almost irrelevant to what we're talking about. The fact that they're immigrants is immaterial to what we're talking about, because the fact is they went through all the right things. They didn't break any of the laws.
And it's just like a hard thing to do.
And I want American-born young people from UC Riverside to also have that American dream and not have to compete against foreigners for that. Thank you for your time.
Can I say one point?
We have a long line. Thank you.
Really quick though.
Okay. Again, what is
sorry,
it? Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. I understand the American dream is
Women.
hard. My mom was pregnant, working 2 jobs one day, and she sacrificed everything, and now she has more money than the average American.
Praise God. That is the American dream. Thank you very much.
It's hard work.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'm glad she came here legally. That deserves to be applauded. Very much so. Thank you.
Hey, Charlie. Hey, everyone. How are you? So today, I'll be honest. Yeah.
I like this guy's energy. I'll say that much. We're getting a little bit more energy. I think everybody, just like with my Andrew Wilson thing, if you have not seen it, check out Modern Day Debate. I did a 5v1 debate with Andrew Wilson, and they just put out the first part. But it was like 9 a.m, and we were hungover from the night before, so we didn't really get moving. So I'm thinking as this goes on, we're going to get a little bit more and more and more heat.
How are you? So today, I'll be honest. Yeah. Good to meet you. I'm not a very political person. I'm here for the love of the game only. And I want to see your views,
What does that mean?
So my topic of discussion is going to be that college is not a scam. And please hear me out till the end before I ask my question, so it kind of makes sense. So
Nope, you're wrong. College is a scam. STEM or scam.
I understand everything you say. You said college is a scam, and the issue is because there's a lot of student loans. There's people who drop out of college every year. There's a lot of people who can't find jobs. Government's funding it, and why should taxpayers pay for it? Right? I understand.
Yep.
It's a concern. It's valid.
Okay, so a good steal, man, to start off and be like, look, I understand you don't agree with this position. Here's why you don't agree with this position, and giving an actual reason as opposed to a straw man.
But at the same time, scam means fraud, and fraud is not what college is, because colleges don't promise guaranteed success. Colleges promise access to resources, which they do deliver. And it's up to the people to actually be accountable and use those resources correctly. But what happens a lot of times is that a lot of people don't use it correctly and fail.
I agree. Like, it's not a straight up scam in the sense that they promise you something that they just give you something completely different. But there's a cultural understanding of what those services can do for you. And I agree with him that a lot of people don't use the college system correctly. They go and get their liberal arts degree, or like me, I got my psychology degree and didn't go past a bachelor's, and people don't do it right. But that doesn't mean that it's a good idea. So maybe technically it's not a scam, but I don't think that's really the heart of what people are saying when we say college is a scam. And yeah, that's exactly what, when Charlie was asking about Peru and saying, do you think it's good or bad for Peru for those people to leave? Well, if you were going to be, I mean, we know you don't vote, but if you were to vote, then being in California would be good for California because you would be voting against some of the bullshit. But now you've moved, and that vote doesn't that potential vote is no longer there. All right. Yep.
Those resources correctly. But what happens a lot of times is that a lot of people don't use it correctly and fail. I do agree that there needs to be reforms. I think especially the funding of colleges should be reformed, how the government funds may be limited, maybe more structured and with more oversight. But at the end of the day, colleges do provide a lot of value to the society. And also, people who do go to colleges, on average, statistically, earn higher income on average, have half the unemployment rate, and they have more opportunities. So my question to you is, are you denying the data?
Okay, so let's define a scam. What is a scam?
Well, I just defined it. Fraud, right?
Yes. So would you agree in a scam, you force a customer to buy something against their will?
Here's the thing.
Yes or no? I let you talk. Yes or no?
Yes, but here...
Okay, how many of you have to take classes against your will that are waste their time? Look around.
Hold on.
Look around.
But here's...
I let you talk. Look around.
Charlie, I'll be honest.
Gen Ed is a good point. There was no reason for me to need to take a history course of something that I already learned in high school.
You haven't looked around yet.
I've taken classes myself.
Every hand is up. Hold on. You just agreed a scam would make people buy something against their will, and every hand went up in the audience saying they have to take classes against their will.
Right. So it may not be fraud, but it is a scam.
You just now agreed using Aristotelian logic that that's a scam.
Hold on. Don't people choose to go to college?
Not always. That's a bit. Well, of course,
People
they have the agency.
have the right to go to college.
A lot are pressured by parents. Time out.
Yeah, the thought that I would have been able to just be like, yep, I'm not going to college. Not happening.
Right. Of course, they have the agency to do that, but there's a cultural expectation to get that piece of paper. Secondly, to your point about earning more money, do you know half of the kids in this audience, if they get a job, they'll get a job that does not require a college degree?
I've actually...
That's me. No degree needed to be a dog trainer. Definitely no degree needed to be a server in a restaurant. And no degree needed to talk shit on the internet.
Fact check your data.
It's from the Department of Education.
Okay, yeah, that's true. The reality is that's true only for entry-level roles. Later in the career, that's not the case. Average college graduate earns 80% higher income compared to high school graduate.
If they graduate.
Median...
See, that's a deceiving statistic.
If they graduate. So if you say the 80% make more money, or they make 80%, I can't imagine it would be 80% more money, but 80% make more money or whatever. If you take into account all the people who enrolled in college, I think that number would go way down.
I wrote a whole book on this. It's very deceiving. Let me tell you why. Because you're taking the top income earners of doctors and lawyers and engineers, and it brings the average up even more. When in reality, no, you look at people who study the humanities. You have a big humanities school at UC Riverside. They will, on average, earn maybe $50,000 or $60,000 a year. Secondly,
even liberal arts graduates earn $15,000 to $40,000 more than high school graduates.
Incorrect. That's old data.
That's correct.
See, we're heating up a little bit. Charlie wasn't like, hey, not yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
Liberal arts graduates earn $15,000 to $40,000 more than high school graduates.
Incorrect. That's old data.
That's correct.
How many here?
That's correct.
How many people here would be thrilled earning $70,000 a year right now?
That's higher than the average.
Wrong. According to the Wall Street Journal,
$70,000 used to be a lot of money, or maybe not a lot of money, but a decent income. And I mean, like, it's more than I make now, but it's not what it used to be.
Hundreds of thousands of high school juniors getting $70,000 a year job offers for not going to college to become plumbers, welders, and electricians. They don't have to go to college. They don't have to get student loan debt. I let you talk. Let me talk.
There you go.
So they don't have to go into debt. They don't have to get any degree. I'm sure almost everyone in this audience would be like, boy, I would kill to earn 70 grand a year. And yet how many people in this audience were told a fair hearing, hey, you don't need to go to 4-year college. You could earn 70 grand as a high school junior to become a welder.
Hold on, Charlie.
That is not a truth.
The Bureau of Labor Statistics says that.
I don't know, but why don't you share the video and then it'll pour more people in. I have no idea where everybody is. I have no idea. But hey, we're here.
On average,
me and you.
College graduates earn about 30% higher than trade school graduates. And
he just explained that those numbers are based on graduates.
Again,
I agree. There's alternatives. College is not for everyone. I totally agree with you. People could go to trade school. They could start a business. But everything comes with risk. We got to look at what is college promising the students. College is promising access to resources, and it provides it.
Incorrect. Colleges implicitly and explicitly through their website and their promotional material tell parents that if you come here, you will have a better life. Instead, that is the sales pitch.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you, if someone
Please show me one website. I've looked all over.
Rider University. Actually, yeah, let's do that right now. Let's do that right now and see the school that I went to. Rider University. Let's see what their website actually says about where the hell is it? The goddamn. Oh, I missed it. So let's see what they've got to say. Let's go to the about page. All right, about Rider University. Here, your goals are within reach. With undergraduate programs in the arts, business, education, liberal arts, and sciences, we provide students with the opportunity to explore their interests while discovering their focus through hands-on, engaged learning experiences. In the classroom and beyond, we'll help you create a future that feels true to you. By the numbers. What distinguishes Rider from other universities is the sum of the many experiences we offer you in and out of the classroom, from your very first day on campus to graduation and beyond. I haven't heard jack shit from Rider since I graduated, but let's see what numbers they are raving about. 1865 when it was founded, 12 to 1. That's a pretty good student ratio. It is a private school, so class sizes were small. But if you're not teaching good shit, then it doesn't really matter. 100% of 4-year Rider students complete at least 2 high-impact engaged learning experiences prior to. I don't even know what that means. I went there and I don't even know what that means. Let's say what else do we got? But I mean the point here being of course I am DEI certified, so they definitely fail there. But I mean the overall point is obviously they're not going to say, hey, if you go to our school, you will automatically get a high paying job. But this is the same kind of thing as when we're talking about Kilmar Abrego Garcia, that just because his tattoos don't say MS13, that we have no way of knowing that he could possibly be in that gang. And it's just cope. It's just not the case. I was raised as a defective male, worked 2 jobs, and rode the bus to community college. I was weary. Well, I mean, that's more the female story now. College is now a female thing.
Instead, that is the sales pitch. I guarantee you, if someone
Please show me one website. I've looked all over the place. I haven't seen a single university that guarantees success or happiness.
Hold on a second.
They promise resources.
I just said implicitly and explicitly. Yep. Almost every single college has on their.
They didn't say specifically that we're going to commit fraud, therefore it's not a scam. That's his argument.
Second.
They promise resources.
I just said implicitly and explicitly. Almost every single college has on their website preparing leaders for a better tomorrow, preparing leaders for an ever-changing world. And if you go through that, they have all these deceiving statistics that if you come to this college for 4 years, allow me to finish talking, okay? Again, for 4 years, yep, someone, we're going to keep going. Don't stare. We tried to warn about that. Get them some water, too. Yeah, and you get a signed hat. Don't faint just for the signed hat. Of course, I acknowledge that some college graduates do better. That window is increasingly closing. Now, let me ask you another argument that you might not be prepared for. Almost every...
I'm with you there. I am with you there. That's why I choose to make less money doing working in a restaurant at 35, being a dog trainer when the clients aren't really there. Instead of getting into the corporate world or, just general 9 to 5, I just, no.
Everybody in this audience is studying something that will be irrelevant because of artificial intelligence. Yeah! Do you think at this school, every single course and every degree is really prepared for the AI revolution that is coming next?
Now, let me ask you a question.
Whoa. We never answer a question with a question. He asked you a direct question. And not only did you not address it, but you just completely started your own sentence asking if you could ask a question.
Artificially prepared for. Do better. That window is increasingly closing. Now, let me ask you another argument that you might not be prepared for. Almost everybody in this audience is studying something that will be irrelevant because of artificial intelligence. Yeah. Do you think at this school, every single course and every degree is really prepared for the AI revolution that is coming next?
So that's the question. Do you think every degree at this school is prepared for the AI revolution coming next? And this is his answer.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Stupid. You have to answer mine.
What are your alternatives?
Oh, I have plenty. So actually there's 11 million job openings right now that pay you more than $75,000 a year that don't require a college degree. Right now.
But did you know that 95%, over 90%?
So again, just breezing by the fact that you asked a question despite the fact that you didn't answer his question. You answered his question with a question, and he answered your question. And then you're brushing by the fact that he answered your question in a way that you thought wasn't going to be satisfactory. But he's gotcha. Shout out to Box in the building. Welcome to the party. Box said I sighed when I saw the video and then laughed at the poll. College kids are not very bright. Well, isn't that precisely the point? Isn't that precisely the point? I think that it is a good thing that we are going to the place where kids are supposed to be the smartest. You're supposed to be the smartest when you're directly learning the stuff. As you leave college, time happens, life happens, and you forget stuff. So if you're there right now, and again, it's not like Charlie is, I mean, what's Charlie's like, he's like 30 or something. It's not like some old man. But I don't get that. I think that the fact that college kids are not very bright is precisely why we should be highlighting that maybe college isn't the place for you. Fox said kids in general are not very bright. That is why they are at school. Well, and okay, so we had a fair point. But yeah, I mean, that's again going to back to the point. If they're going to school and they're not very bright, and they're coming out of school and still not very bright, college is a scam.
5% of U.S. employers still require a college degree for mid.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Mid to high roles, and about 40% require
that. That's
just
actually,
to get in.
Again, you didn't even answer my question. You're dodging it. But that number is coming down. At secondly, 11 million jobs that pay more than $75,000 a year that don't require a college degree. My alternative also is this. If you want to get something specialized, of course, go to college. The vast majority of kids that go to college are studying the humanities, soft social sciences, psychology, or communications.
Was me, psychology.
They're not studying to become engineers or doctors or nurses, all of which I totally understand. And what you're basically saying, your argument, which is true, but it's fraudulent, come here to get a piece of paper because once you get the piece of paper, then you'll get a job.
That's not true. No one is promising that. College promises.
Like, to act as if that's not even like, well, we're just going to teach you some skills, and whatever you do from there, that's up to you. It has nothing to do with work. It has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with jobs. We just want to teach you skills. Come on, man. What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about?
Paper because once you get the piece of paper, then you'll get a job.
That's not true. No one is promising that. College promises access to resources, access to preparation.
Then why are you here?
To leadership doesn't mean guarantee.
Again,
it only gives access. You are the one responsible. I think it should be merit-based, and people should take accountability for their actions. If they come to college and be lazy, don't take classes, they are gonna achieve nothing.
Do they have job preparedness at this school?
Yes, there's a career guidance center. I went to it.
Hold on, wait. They have a whole center about career preparedness, so they're selling career preparedness.
Yes, and you gotta go and access it yourself.
Point. Wait.
They are selling career preparedness, and then people are not prepared for careers. Sounds like a scam.
Do they have job preparedness at this school?
Yes, there's a career guidance center. I went to it.
Hold on, wait. They have a whole center about career preparedness, so they're selling career preparedness.
Yes, and you gotta go and access it yourself.
Point. Wait, hold on. So they're selling career. Time out. You keep interrupting me, man. Again, do they teach you to interrupt in college this much? It's like you gotta let the other person talk, okay?
Let me be honest. I respect you, but no one interrupts more than you.
At career preparedness centers.
Smart move to just let that one go, because that's how you get dragged. No, I haven't interrupted you at all.
Are implicitly and explicitly telling you you're getting something of value. And again, half the people in this audience.
We do actually have that at my restaurant, but I may be thinking something a little different than what you're thinking.
Are implicitly and explicitly telling you you're getting something of value. And again, half the people in this audience, if they get a job, they'll get a job that doesn't require a college degree. They'll be burdened with debt. It's 4 years of wasted time, talent, and treasure. And finally, and most importantly, almost every one of your careers will be rendered obsolete by AI in the next 10 years.
Hold on. Are you denying the data that one...
Again, it's just like immediately into the thing that you're saying. Listening to talk versus listening to respond versus listening to understand.
One of your careers will be rendered obsolete by AI in the next 10 years.
Hold on. Are you denying the data that $1.2 million higher earnings in median for college graduates?
I've already explained that.
That's not the mean. You were talking about the average. What about the median?
I've already explained it's not degree specific. Also, one other stat. Do you know that 4 out of 10 kids that go to college do not graduate? 4 out of 10 kids that go to college do not graduate.
That's not true.
That's a lot of people. And so going back to the argument that college graduates make more money than people who didn't graduate college doesn't account for the fact that a lot of people paid to go to college and then don't graduate. Monk said he is trying. Better to get caught trying than not. He seems to believe what he is saying, and that's fine with me. Is this Charlie, or are you talking about the this guy over here? Either way, I mean, I think it applies to both.
4 out of 10 kids that go to college do not graduate. 4 out of 10 kids that go to college do not graduate.
That's not true.
It is 59% is the national graduation rate. Okay, again, I can't have a conversation if you deal in different, factual
I'm just
reality.
trying to say the same degree. If you're talking,
All right, let's see, Mr. ChatGPT, what percentage of people who enroll in college eventually drop out without a degree? Let's see. Box said I did 1 year at college, saw the bill, and dipped out. And I was bad at math. I mean, who isn't bad at math except for the people that are amazing at math? Who at math? I'm like, that's literally what quit means, bro. Come on, or that's literally what dropout means. So, as of the most recent data, about 40% of students who enroll in a 4-year college drop out before earning a degree, or quit if you're box. For 2-year colleges, the dropout rate is even higher, over 60%. Oh man. First year attrition is particularly significant. Around 25% of college freshmen drop out before their sophomore year. And what was Box saying? I did 1 year of college and I was out of there. There was a lot of people that I knew that, the same thing. And it's just a lot of people don't finish. And so if we're talking about only those who finish, that's an interesting conversation to have. But if you're put in the position where you don't know that you're not going to be somebody who's going to graduate before you shell out money and start going to this college, then it's a scam. It is a scam. I said I took power mechanics as my vocational elective. Can I repair your lawnmower engine? Nope. College. Let's see what else they've got here. Anything? Common reason for dropping out: financial hardship, academic stress, mental health illness, that stuff. But yeah, so 40% of 4-year college students drop out. 25% of that being freshmen, and if you go to a 2-year degree, that goes up to 60%. Well, so it was just the money. If it was cheaper, I would have stayed. Not worth it. Not worth it.
Okay, again, I can't have.
And I mean, for me, like, my daddy's a doctor. He was able to send me to a private school, and I came out with no debt. So, like, yeah, obviously, there's a lot less of a reason to question whether I was going to go to college or not. But if you have to deal with all that debt, the money really does matter. And then Box can do lawnmower engines and rewire your house or change a component of your laptop. There you go. Well, actually, I need to talk to you because the fan in my laptop crapped out, and I kind of want a new laptop, but I don't really need it. So maybe I'll ask you about that. Shout out to Amanda Price. Welcome to the party. Very good to see ya. We are here with Charlie Kirk. This guy is arguing that college is not a scam.
Go to college, do not graduate.
that's not true.
It is 59% is the national graduation rate. Okay, again, I can't have a conversation if you deal in different, factual
I'm just
reality.
trying to say the
Can I do it myself though? That's the issue, because I don't have to spend time going somewhere and dropping it off and driving home. Can I do it myself? Can I just unscrew the thing, put the new one in? That's what I care about.
Graduation rate. Okay, again, I can't have a conversation if you deal in different, factual
I'm just
reality.
trying to say the same degree. If you're talking about dropout rate, I totally agree with you. There is a lot of people dropping out. That's an issue. We should find ways to fix that.
Oh, I guess he's gone. I was talking about the editing. All right, I like that editing. We don't like that guy, so we are moving on.
A lot of people dropping out. That's an issue. We should find ways to fix that.
And I don't disagree that we should find solutions to the reasons that people are dropping out. But it seems very clear that if we address those issues before people go to college, then way less people are going to go in the first place that are going to end up dropping out. I think we can all agree that if you're going to drop out of college, if you're not going to graduate, that it's better that you don't go to college than to go for some of it and then drop out. All right.
Talking about dropout rates, I totally agree with you. There is a lot of people dropping out. That's an issue. We should find ways to fix that.
Let me get my nerves down a little bit.
So nervous. I mean, I was a little nervous debating Andrew Wilson face to face, but you know,
Fix that.
Let me get my nerves down a little bit. Not to be repetitive. Water. Oh,
the college is great.
Let me quick.
See, well, why did we edit all that stuff out and not start it here?
So I have a similar question, but my question is thing. It's right here. Good. Oh, not touch it. All right. So this is via your turning point.
See, smart man, using the notes so that you come and give what you want to say in a clear way. And yeah, I feel that too. But so, you know, the first guy was same thing. And he knew that he was going to get nervous, but didn't write anything down. I do not see it as a weakness or anything to have to read off of paper and to be able to be like, well, I can spit these things off the top of my head. I mean, okay, cool, impressive, but doesn't make you any more right or wrong. Yeah, public speaking is definitely hard for people. And I know you guys don't really believe me, but I really am an introvert. And we've watched some of my old videos where I'm like, hi, this is Sludge, and I'm here to party with the Indian Jesus. And it's a skill that learning to project more. And again, I project, but I mean, that same kind of problem I had to deal with when I first started working in restaurants. Because it'd be loud, and I'd be like, hi, I'm here to take your order. What can I get for you? And people would be like, all right, we got to speak up.
Oh, not touch it. All right. So this is via your Turning Point USA website. In March 2025, President Donald Trump appointed Charlie Kirk to United States Air Force Academy Board of Visitors advisory panel that oversees various aspects of the academy, including morale, curriculum, and discipline. This appointment indicates a level of trust in Kirk's.
So remember what I tell you guys about when you're reading out loud. You see all of the words, and even we have the captions on, but it's hard to follow because his monotone. He's just getting word to word to word to word to word to word, as opposed to when what I just read with this thing. Like, common reasons for dropping out include financial hardship, academic struggles, mental health issues, lack of support or engagement, family obligations, realizing college isn't the right fit. That is how you need to read out loud. You need to slow down and enunciate. I said, I hate public speaking, which is one of the reasons I don't debate. It's a maze in my brain. Well, the more you do it, the better you get at it. That is the only way. The only way. And hey, guys, that is a lot of what this channel is about, whether it's debates or not. Having these conversations, even if you're, just in Discord or on Twitter or whatever, being able to get these ideas that are in your head out in a way that makes sense to other people is difficult.
Aspects of the academy, including.
So yeah, let's try to see what the hell he's saying.
USA website in March 2025.
So okay, according to the website in March 2025,
President Donald Trump appointed Charlie Kirk to United States Air Force Academy Board of Visitors.
Okay, so the U.S. Air Force Board of Visitors
advisory panel that oversees various aspects of the academy, including morale, curriculum, and discipline. This appointment indicates a level of trust in Kirk's commitment to the military's well-being. So
Kirk has a commitment to the military's well-being. Okay,
I know that you're an advocate for military well-being. My question is, you say that college is a scam, but there's been multiple data that the post 9/11 GI Bill, a lot of people enlist via the post 9/11 GI Bill. So that they can get free college education. So my question is, what do you have to say regarding that tape?
I don't think I should spend too much time on this topic. I think I thoroughly did the prior. So,
but I'm speaking more when it comes to military enlistment. When it comes to college,
I mean, for some people, college is a good idea. For some people, it's a bad idea, and most people are being scammed when they go to college. My stance remains.
But as someone who's a supporter of the military, wouldn't you support college, considering it creates more enlistment via the Syracuse University?
Did he say that because it creates more enlistment? So because there's more enlistment, it's okay that a huge swath of people are just getting money stolen from them. Not directly, I'm being hyperbolic, but essentially stolen from them. That's okay because there's more enlistment. This is how you get to realize, you should realize that when you're saying this, that this is a dumb thing to say. Like, okay, just because there are some positive things doesn't make the overall thing positive. Oh, where did I go?
who's a supporter of the military, wouldn't you support college, considering it creates more enlistment? Via the Syracuse University, via the Syracuse University, it's a high 53%. Or when they took 8,000 supporters, they found that 53% wanted to list because of the post 9/11 GI Bill, and over 80% of new enlistments were motivated by post 9/11 GI Bill.
Okay, what's the
And so the question is about to say, what's the question? Again, he's on this. Well, enlistment goes up, therefore college must be good. Shout out to Funk Master General in the building with the $20 making you holla. And of course, a treat for Morty getting us started on that swole goal, and we can get him some peanut butter tonight. He says, "Hi, I'm Funk. I like to party and sing praises to the Overlord." Don't we all? Don't we all? Singing songs to the Overlord. There you go. Thank you so very, very much. Of course, let's get us started. That's 1 out of 15 super chats of any amount, or 20 out of $50. We are getting there. Let's do it. Thank you so very, very much. Of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream.
New enlistments were motivated by post 9/11 GI Bill.
Okay, what's the question?
My question is do you support college?
No.
Yeah, my question is, do you support college?
Have I not answered this, guys, sufficiently? Yeah, okay. For some people, yes, it is a racket for a lot of people. Thank you.
How you doing, Charlie? First of all, I want to start off by saying thank you to everyone in the crowd who has served our country and served our military. So my belief is that the United States should have a presence back into Afghanistan. And I know firsthand experience how it is with Afghan refugees during 2021 when President Biden pulled out of Afghanistan. My unit was the one that had to deal with the Afghan refugees when they came into the United States.
Hey, shout out to Matthew King. Welcome to the party. There you guys are. I'll sit here by myself. Welcome to the party. Oh, that's Amanda. All right, welcome.
And my unit was the one that had to deal with the Afghan refugees when they came into the United States. Operation Allies Welcome. And a lot of the stuff that I seen right there was not pretty. And a lot of the refugees that came over, a lot of them were either known or suspected of terrorism. Not to mention also during the Biden administration, when millions
So we're getting a lot of information here, but I don't really know where this is going.
of people came over through the border, everyone's focus is really on people from Latin America. But people are forgetting that a lot of that came in were from the Middle East and were also known and unknown terrorists on the FBI watch list. So my thing is we should have more presence in Afghanistan, because there's a lot of Al-Qaeda that's still building up their numbers and a lot of other members that are here in the country because of what happened there. And so my question is also, what will President Trump do, his administration do to prevent the next 9/11? I've seen a lot of, are you familiar with Sean?
Oh, shut the fuck up. Ask the question and then stop talking. You'd be like, so my question is, should we be more in Afghanistan? Because this, that, and that, and that. So should Trump do this? Because that. Ask the question. Write it down.
Do to prevent the next 9/11? I've seen a lot of, are you familiar with Sean Ryan? With his interview with Sarah Adams, CIA targeter, she stated that the next 9/11 is bound to happen in the tens of thousands. So what can we do to prevent that
Close the borders is a good start.
happen? And we do need another a more presence in Afghanistan again.
Okay, first of all,
So what was the question?
thank you for your service. I mean that, and thank you. I have to give you a compliment. You have an argument I've never heard.
Yeah, that was the whole point, because I know everyone argues the same thing. And this is something I really believe
I'm
in.
giving you credit. So to
Fair
be
enough.
clear, you would like to see a reinvasion of Afghanistan.
Not reinvasion, but more presence, like how we do in a lot of other countries.
Reinvasion, right? Got it. Okay, that's fine. So while I
Is it fine?
acknowledge all the things you say, let's first make sure we interpret what happened on 9/11 correctly. 9/11 was not a we did not occupy enough countries problem. 9/11 was an intelligence and, most importantly, an immigration problem.
And an inside job.
We allowed people into our country that were not American to come into our country.
Mm-hmm.
And
that one.
I'm sorry.
He tried. He tried.
Inside job.
Yeah. Well, we can have a question on that if you'd like, but we're not on that one now. But I would ask the question: what do you believe that President Trump was elected on? More foreign wars and more conflicts, or less?
Less foreign wars, but okay.
Sorry, I missed the question.
more foreign wars and more conflicts or less?
Obviously less. Obviously less. And that is why we're all so fucking pissed about Iran, whether or not it's over. Whether or not it's over already.
And Trump was elected on.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you so very, very much for that. If you guys, let's take a little break. Are enjoying the show. The party rages on 24/7 over in our Discord. The link is pinned to the top of the chat and is absolutely free to join 24/7. We're in there hanging out, having a great time. And guys, it is absolutely free. However, if you are a member of this channel here on YouTube, you can scroll right below that video and hit that join button. Starts at $2.99. There's a few different tiers, but $2.99 will get you in. It gets you members only live streams here on YouTube, all that other good stuff. But it opens up the full Discord server. So we've got the free chat that is open to anyone. Anybody can join and talk. But as you can see, that is just one of our channels. There's a bunch of different channels here, including our disciple chat for members only, our word of the day watch party, where we're talking about all this stuff. And of course, we have the voice channel here, where we are hanging out at this moment. Shout out to everybody in the Discord server. Say hello and tell them to come and join. There you go, guys. Simple as that. See you there. And of course, remember, guys, that after party and all those other channels are for members only. But if you hit that pinned link before the stream is over, you will get a day pass for the entire thing, including that after party. Shout out to Funk Master General again. Said, hey, buddy, thanks for thinking about those of us that work outside earlier. Yeah, that was specifically about you. Specifically about you. Let's get Morty his treat. And yeah, let's pull it up and see exactly what I said here. But long story short, where is it? How do I open this? Okay, well, this is not the easy, whatever. So I was saying, shout out to, there we go, highlighted. Shout out to anyone who has to work out. Come on. Shout out to anyone who has to work outside in this heat. I know the heat wave isn't everywhere, but it's the entire East Coast and more. One single day, I had an outdoor manual labor job, and I quit. I wouldn't have made, I would have made money. Would have made more money, but now no AC is a reason to close, and I can make sure all my work is indoors across 3 jobs. So like usually when it's this hot, then we're not doing much dog training. But if it's a smaller dog, if it's a dog that's not working on walking and stuff that we could do inside, then it's like, okay, well, let's do everything inside. I said I'm not looking forward to taking Morty on his walk. And that is just a lap around the development. He was on the grass most of the time. Of course, we're not going to have his feeties on the pavement. Just because I have to be outside. To have to work outside, and this is insanity. I would literally need millions to do this, and I prefer the extreme heat to the extreme cold. If I had to pick this, I'd take this over a blizzard, and still. And wow, so a pretty interesting split here. Pretty interesting split. We have only people who walk out. I mean, it's only 7 people so far, but only people who work outside and people who don't work. I don't know what to make of that, but we'll see. Actually, we'll see where that ends up. But my pleasure, brother. My pleasure. I am so glad that you guys do it, so I don't have to. Thank you so very, very much. All right, let's be a little less racist. Actually, I don't care. So you need a new version of this ad with more people and me passed out, drunk in the chair. People would 100% click. Hey, I agree. I would definitely like to have a better video where there are more people. So next time we have a good party, let's rock it. Any film indeed is a handsome devil. Matthew said I was technically inside, but it was hotter than outside with the machines running. The past few days sucked. Yeah. The insulation in this condo is so bad that my AC has been blasting. I've got this fan here. I've told you guys about how I broke the ceiling fan upstairs, but I have my little fan that blows air right on me, and then I just bought a big 20-inch box fan that I put at the end of the balcony of my loft to pull all that air, and it is still 80 degrees up there. 80 degrees. Oh my goodness. I cannot handle it. Funkmaster General said, I did install a hot tub at a very special place yesterday. It's in your DMs. What do we got here? Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. This was yesterday. Oh, this is what? Why is this not paste? What the hell? Copy image. Oh, copy link. No image, a link. Gay beach house. Now they got a hot tub. You know what's going on in there. Ugh. But hey, I'm sure it was a dope ass hot tub. Amanda said, I would take a blizzard over extreme heat any day. Not me. Not me. When it's a blizzard out, it's not extremely cold. Just shit outside slides. You got to take a little shelter or something. You're good. No, because I specifically talk about the blizzard because when the heat wave is over, the heat wave is over. When there's a shit ton of snow, that is a 2-week period where it's just gross everywhere. Everywhere. Everything is wet. I can't do it. I can't do it. I will take this. And it's what is it? It is I don't want to show my thing, but it's going down. It's 9 p.m. and it's 88 degrees. And I will take that over a blizzard. All right, let's dive back in here.
Question. What do you believe that President Trump was elected on? More foreign wars and more conflicts or less?
Less foreign wars, but okay. Do you believe it was a great idea to pull out of Afghanistan?
Not the
It was a good idea to pull out of Afghanistan. It wasn't a good idea to do it the way that Biden did it.
way Biden did it, but yes, I actually do agree with it. I think the way he did it was disgraceful.
Yes,
I think we should.
Service members died.
No, of course. I met some of the Abbey Gate family. It's terrible. It's like saying you got to get rid of your appendix and you take out a switchblade and just start doing it. I mean, it was the most terrible, gruesome way to do it. We should have protected Bagram Air Base. We never should have left $100 billion of military equipment in Afghanistan. But just to talk more morally clear, we need to protect our own borders a lot more than the borders of a foreign country.
Correct. So I know everyone is really distracted with
That's another thing. Standing in one spot. I would rather have to be a server where I'm running around all the time than and be like, oh my God, than to just have to stand in one spot. My knees just get locked and it's like, oh, and the knees and the back and the shoulders. Oh, it's terrible. It is terrible.
A lot more than the borders of a foreign country.
Correct. So I know everyone is really distracted with the war in Israel, the war in Ukraine.
This was before recent stuff, so this is 2 weeks old. So we hadn't been dealing with Iran.
Pakistan and India are heating up now. So a lot of the focus is not really on what's going on in the Middle East and what is going to happen. Not saying
the best way to prevent it is don't let them into our country.
Correct.
It's an immigration problem.
I'm glad that you had to do it so that I didn't have to. And now I'm just talking about the mankinis. Yeah, okay, but yeah, so I would be being on my feet is not a big deal. It's standing in one spot. All right.
Not saying
the best way to prevent it is don't let them into our country.
Correct.
It's an immigration problem.
Correct. And President Trump has closed our borders, and they're not coming in as Trump, but the damage is already done. There's a lot of them that are already here.
We need to find them and we need to root them out and kick them out of our country. Right. But that doesn't mean we should send more of our. For one, I don't want to see people like you and friends like you have to go into another no-win war in a foreign country where you might have to lose your life.
Yep. I mean, thankfully, we're all, I mean, it may not feel like it, but we're all old enough that, they're going to have to really go down the list before any of us are on the front lines. But that doesn't change the fact that, like, it would be a horrible thing for our youth to have to go fight this war or fight any war, really. And that is another thing that is fostered on college campuses. Maybe not necessarily the scam part of it, but another reason why it is not the bill of goods that they tell you it is.
To go into another no-win war in a foreign country where you might have to lose your life, where the objective is very unclear. I would rather have you be able to live a prosperous life here in this country, close our borders, and have very strict immigration.
And I'm grateful for my time in my service. I'm using my GI Bill right now. It's doing great.
Some people should go to college, and I'm glad you're benefiting.
A lot of my NCOs, while I was still in, when we did pull out of Afghanistan, did argue that this should have never happened. And as NCOs who were there fighting in Afghanistan. So they do feel like...
Forgot to update the banner, guys, but $20 gets Morty his peanut butter and push-ups. Peanut butter and push-ups. What else could you ask for?
It's also kind of a question. Well, what about now? We went to Afghanistan. A lot of...
See ya in a bit, Amanda. You have a good one. Shout out to Stacey's mom. It's got it going on.
Also, kind of a question. Well, what about now? We went to Afghanistan. A lot of soldiers died. A lot of our service members died. What are we taking out of that?
That was one of the most disappointing and disgusting days in American history with the withdrawal of Afghanistan and those 13 Marines that unnecessarily died, who Joe Biden to this day never called those Marines for their sacrifice at the Abbey Gate. Thank you for your service, sir.
Would you like a mini Jesus?
I'm sorry?
Mini Jesus.
Thank you very much. Yes. God bless you, man. Thank you. Yes.
It's a bomb. It's a bomb.
Everyone should give your life to Jesus as your Lord and Savior, right?
I did. And then... I got smarter.
Thank you, Charlie. Hello.
Charlie has a same kind of lumbar support thing, because I'm sure he's sitting there for like, a while. I don't know if this is just, the whole thing. Obviously, there's cuts and stuff, so I don't know how long he was actually there. But he's got the same thing I do, a little booty seat to make it comfortable. I think he has it backwards. I think this is supposed to be in the front, and then the lumbar support there. I think he got it backwards, bro.
Hello. I just want to say first, thank you for debating and coming to UCR. And my main question is, all of us, I don't want to speak for everybody, but most of us here believe in the American dream. And one of the core aspects of the American dream is a meritocracy. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, but we don't really have that.
And so one of the true fundamental points of a true meritocracy is equal opportunity for people. Is there aspects of...
No, it's not.
Why do you say that?
Well, because that will never...
Interesting, because equal opportunity does seem like a principle that we want. So let's see exactly what he's saying.
For people, is there aspects of...
No, it's not.
Why do you say that?
Because the whole thing about DEI was equality of opportunity, not equality of outcome.
Well, because that will never be achieved. It could be a goal, but it will never be reality. For example, do you and I have equal opportunity to play in the NBA as LeBron James?
No.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
Well, yes, we do. We both have the equal opportunity to try out to see if we meritocratically can be in the NBA. What's stopping anybody from doing that? If you don't have the merits, then you can't do that. I don't have the merits. I need to be able to do things that reaches more than 6 feet in the air when I have my hand all the way up. So I think meritocratically, the same way we would say that women who can't run fast or jump high shouldn't be doing, whether it's police or whatever, or firefighters, all that kind of stuff. That's a meritocracy. Shout out to Box News. So it depends on how we get there. I could smoke LeBron. Well, that's what I'm saying. I disagree. This is a weird thing because he specifically used like the talking point of equality of opportunity. And I disagree. We all have the same exact opportunity to try out to see if we can make it to be on an NBA team. Most of us won't get that far, but that doesn't mean we don't have the opportunity.
Opportunity to play in the NBA as LeBron James.
Yes.
No.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. It's never going to happen.
I'm talking about some people who have the abilities, like for example.
But wait, Charlie, but you're talking about equality of outcome. This is so weird. He's talking about equality of outcome. Because we can't all get into the NBA, then it means we don't have an equal opportunity to do that. That's not what that means at all. And so Homeboy here was just wrong and just going along with what Charlie is saying. We absolutely do have the equal opportunity to try out for whatever we want to do.
I'm going to use the SAT as an example. Like, let's say two people took the SAT at the same, a practice SAT at the same day. One person scored 100 points higher than the other person. But that same person who scored 100 points higher doesn't have the same resources to maintain studying while the other person has the resources. Is there any way you propose that both people have the equal opportunity? Because in theoretical, a meritocracy says that person with 100 points higher at the start will eventually be at a higher position.
Right, which is why we talk about equality of opportunity, that just because you come from privilege doesn't mean that you should have opportunities taken away from you. It just means that if you don't meet, if you're not born into circumstances that you get extra, that should be bestowed upon everybody. This is a weird. I'm not liking this.
Says that person with 100 points higher at the start will eventually be at a higher position.
The only solution would be an IQ test, and the left hates IQ tests.
What?
IQ tests are a great way to bring back true meritocracy because IQ tests.
Okay, so do we all have the same equal opportunity to do perfectly on an IQ test? That's not what equality of opportunity means. If you're dumb, then you have the opportunity to do everything that you can to do well on that test. But just because you don't do as well on the test as somebody else does not mean that it wasn't equality. This is so strange that he's taking this route.
It's IQ tests. IQ tests are a great way to bring back true meritocracy because IQ tests are study and preparation agnostic. So, are you familiar with an intelligent quotient test?
Yeah. And
but they don't like it because the left says they're racist because, I mean, you can read Charles Murray's bell curve why they don't like it.
Yeah,
but would you agree we should bring back IQ tests?
I believe in the IQ tests have validity, but I don't think it should be the defining factor.
But even if we were, let's play this logic out. So Charlie is saying that the NBA does not have equality of opportunity because not everybody could get in there with LeBron James. And so let's take the IQ test. You want to bring back IQ tests, and then we'll use that in society to determine who can do what and who can not do certain things. Well, then you're creating an inequality of outcome that has nothing to do with the equality of opportunity. Charlie. What a mess. What a mess.
Okay. I mean, then you don't believe in a meritocracy.
But the thing is, an IQ test has specific types of intelligence, which is being tested. People have different types of intelligence, which are more suited for different professions.
Yes, I agree. And certain companies should, again, what companies...
Yeah, but aren't those tests kind of geared towards specifically that?
Got away from IQ tests like 20 years ago because they were all called racist, but fair enough. I think IQ tests are a great way to cut through preparation. And I will even acknowledge that if you could pay for a really good tutor and get it higher, we took the ACT where I'm from, the Midwest. We didn't take the SAT, but you could get a higher ACT score with proper preparation. And if you spend money on it, I totally acknowledge that.
Yeah. So,
so if you have the opportunity to hire a tutor, then you'll do better on the test. But just because you don't have the means to do that doesn't mean you don't have the opportunity to do so as far as what is offered. It's offered to everybody. Just because you can't afford something doesn't mean that you're being oppressed. Has Charlie gone woke? What? Has Charlie gone woke? What is happening?
The thing is, I've always been brought up with the idea that a meritocracy will bring me my American dream. And outside of an IQ test, if the left is so against it, would you propose or would you suggest any other ways that we can theoretically do it without still being true to the meritocracy that brings the American dream what it is?
I can't think of one. I'm looking for it, but I mean, again, I think an IQ test is a great colorblind, preparation agnostic way to find out people that have the acumen to be able to do the task.
I agree. But again, the fact that not everybody is going to have the equal opportunity to get the same score is the point. Like if you want that, then you're not talking about equality of opportunity. You're talking about equality of outcome.
And preparation agnostic way to find out people that have the acumen to be able.
They woke, bro. Funkmaster said my IQ is like 150 or something, but I don't care. I only use my genius to trick people into giving me their sandwich. You got to teach me that trick, man. I need some more sandwiches. As much as I need push-ups, I need sandwiches. That's for sure.
Colorblind, preparation agnostic way to find out people that have the acumen to be able to do the task.
And when we go to the IQ test, would you suggest that there's different types of IQ tests for different?
Sure. I mean, of course, there's variety, but the generally agreed upon IQ test that was developed in the late 80s is pretty good.
Okay, that was my question.
Great question. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you.
All right. right. So,
Yeah, same.
I mean, really odd that Charlie went down the road of saying if you don't, if you can't meritocratically get into the NBA, then it means you don't have the opportunity to do so. But we can have IQ tests where, in the same way, you may not have the ability to do as well as other people, but that's equality of opportunity. That is equality of opportunity. They're both equality of opportunity. And to argue for or even to bring up the NBA when you're talking about this means that you're specifically talking about equality of outcome. That's DEI, baby.
Hello. Great to see you, Charlie. So maybe I really am just Uncle Tom's favorite nephew, but I do have a quick question.
Oh, I've seen this dude before.
What is so wrong with mass incarceration if the only way to be incarcerated is to commit a crime?
Nothing.
There's nothing.
There's nothing wrong with it. There's a problem with the system that determines what is the first of all, what are the sentences and how cases are tried. Now, I think the justice system in America is probably the best. I mean, I'm not super familiar with other countries, but it's got to be the best that we have. That being said, there's a lot of problems with it, and so there's a lot of people who are incarcerated who did not commit a crime. We see verdicts being overturned all the time. I mean, as much as I don't have learned that the Innocence Project is bullshit, the fact is there have been many people who were on death row that were acquitted because of DNA evidence. So that's not the only way to get incarcerated. What are we doing here?
Incarceration if the only way to be incarcerated is to commit a crime.
There's nothing wrong with mass incarceration. In fact, we need more prisoners in this country, not less prisoners, and we let prisoners out of jail way too quickly in America.
I don't even necessarily disagree with that wholeheartedly. I mean, there's aspects where it's like, I mean, if you 60 years for a gram of crack or whatever, I don't really know about all that. But, we should still be locked up. And there's a lot of people that are committing crimes that should be locked up that are not locked up. That being said, doesn't mean that committing a crime is the only way to get incarcerated.
In fact, we need more prisoners in this country, not less prisoners, and we let prisoners out of jail way too quickly in America. But isn't it racist to have mass incarceration?
You know what? I don't think it's racist because I've been black for 28 years and I've yet to go to jail or prison.
Has nothing to do with the way you talk and the color of your hair. Just saying, you don't really fit the stereotype.
But come on, the justice system is rigged against black people. You're a white supremacist.
You know what? I still don't know how white supremacy would benefit me, but I love it here in America.
Amen. God bless you, man. Thank you.
Take it.
Hello. So I want to talk about the debate of abortion. So I know that it's something very controversial.
Here we go. If you're not paying attention, it is time to pay attention. We've got the piercings. We've got the colored hair. We've got the extra weight. We've got the pale white, the pasty, pale white skin. And she wants to talk about abortion. All right, let's do it.
Debate of abortion. So I know that it's something very controversial. Some people are pro-choice. Some people are pro-life. Before I start, I want to make sure that I understand your opinion fully so I don't take, what I've heard online.
Fair enough.
What is your stance on abortion?
Life begins at conception.
Okay, so
that's the science, baby.
So conception, so is that when sperm enters the egg? Is that during?
When new DNA is formed.
Okay, when new DNA is formed. So the egg by itself, you don't think is anything?
Sorry?
I mean, it's not nothing. It's just not a human being. It's just a part of another human being.
The egg of a woman by itself, do you think it's anything?
It's something, but it's not a life, correct?
Okay, that's okay. So my question is, when you talk about abortion and why you think why you support it, why you don't support it, sorry. Why you don't support it, what do you use as your evidence? Do you use scientific evidence? Do you talk about the Bible? Do you use both?
Mainly scientific and self-evident reason.
Okay. So are you someone who's a follower of the Bible?
I am, but that's not relevant to this discussion, but we could talk about it if you like.
I find it relevant because when I'm going to talk about abortion, there's quotes in the Bible that I think support pro-choice, in my opinion.
What? Hold up. First, Ted Cruz said the Bible commands us to support Bibi Netanyahu, and now in Exodus, we're allowed to murder babies.
Opinion. Exodus 21, 22 through 25, when
Whatever she's about to say, this is why everybody hates atheists. If you didn't know, I'm an atheist. This is why everybody hates atheists, because I am sure that whatever you're about to say, that's in Exodus 21, is not supporting abortion, or at least or pro-choice. But maybe I'm wrong.
when men strive together and hit a pregnant woman so that her child come out, so miscarriage, but there is no harm to the woman, the one who hit her shall surely be fined, as the woman's husband
Yeah, because it's wrong. What?
shall impose on him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. But if there is harm to the woman, you shall pay life for life, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. So I know
How many feet are contained in a pregnant woman's body? Sounds like you're making the complete opposite argument. But maybe I'm stupid. Hey, at least she read it in such a way that we can all understand. Unlike that other guy who's just like,
I know that could be interpreted different ways. The Bible is interpreted in many ways. There's different types, different interpretations. But this says if a person causes a miscarriage through a woman, that they will pay for the abortion. So they will pay. Another one will punish them.
That is not what this law says. But let me.
Told ya. I knew it. Another atheist taking shit out of context. Religion's bad enough. You don't need to make up stupid shit to combat it.
Let me just ask, are you a Christian?
Yes.
Okay, then continue. So
That's those people. Oh, I apologize. I apologize to this young lady for assuming that she was an atheist because of the way that she is dressed and talking. I apologize. I was wrong. I mean, did anybody here think that she was a Christian? That's on us. Don't judge a book by its cover.
law says. But let me just ask, are you a Christian?
Yes.
Okay, then continue. So
I wonder what he was going to say if she said no.
So it
do you believe in the inerrant word of God?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes. So it says that as a woman's husband shall impose on him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. So the judges determine, and it's talking about the husband, so therefore it's talking about a person, not God himself, not his judgment. So it's saying if someone has an abortion, we have the right to choose what to do to them,
But
right?
didn't you say it was a miscarriage, not an abortion?
It says when man strive together and hit a pregnant woman, so that's causing her to lose the baby. That's an outside cause.
Okay,
Outside cause.
fair,
Therefore,
fair.
it could mean abortion, because some people find that aggressive abortion is through violence, such as hitting, because not everyone has access to medical.
Was it the
abortion.
intent for them to kill the baby?
It's unclarified, so that I cannot tell you.
This is actually a much stronger argument than I thought it was going to be. I don't think it's good, but by the text, which is why I think all this interpretive stuff is not good. We want more objective objective points in our ideology. But most of she fooled me and my big sandwich loving brain. She fooled us all.
To kill the baby?
It's unclarified, so that I cannot tell you. It's unclarified. However, what I will say is that it says that it's the judges determine, the husband determines. So God's not.
So I think what she's saying is that it's not God that decides; it's the judges and the husband that decide. So there could be a case where men hit a pregnant woman and cause that pregnancy to be ended, and that it is not a sin. I think that is what she's presenting. I think so. But I mean, Christians, help me out.
That it's the judges determine, the husband determines. So God's not making the choice for us what to do with a person who does that to someone's child, does that to their own child. But it does say that if the woman is harmed, herself, not the child, then they are liable by God. Their life for her life, their foot for her foot.
That's a good argument. It specifically says if you hurt the woman, then that's that's bad, end of story. But if you kill the baby, well, then it depends. That really does create some wiggle room. Again, I don't think that in its totality the Bible leads you there, but it's a good point.
So what I'm saying is, if somebody needs an abortion for healthcare, let's say a woman's baby's not going to make it, and if the baby stays in her
That's already ectopic. Ending an ectopic pregnancy is not an abortion.
womb, she will die. And they refuse her an abortion, they refuse her that healthcare, and she dies. Should the doctor be liable under God?
First of all,
Yo, shout out to her. I've completely turned around on her. It's like, oh, this disgusting atheist. And now I'm like, yo, this Christian's kind of spitting fire.
Healthcare, and she dies. Should the doctor be liable under God?
first of all, those
I love how she said under God.
instances don't happen. So let's just
Yes,
be
they
clear.
do.
No, see, you guys are
That's dodging the question. That's dodging the question. It's she's asking hypothetically, based on scripture, if this were to happen today, what would God say? That's the question. Whether or not it does or does not happen is irrelevant to her question.
First of all, those instances don't happen. So let's
Yes,
just be
they
clear.
do.
No, see, you guys are so propagandized by this. That only happens in a very rare case of the breaking of the uterine
So
wall.
it does happen.
But no, but where the baby is already dead. And that's the point, is that the baby is already dead. That's a removal of a carcass
That's
of a
also
baby.
Right, but she's talking about a different situation where it's caused by outside forces. It's not just an ectopic pregnancy. I'm against abortion, guys, but we have to address these things accurately. Because every pro-choice person is going to watch this clip and be like, see, even a Christian got to Charlie Kirk and you know, whatever. You got to take it for what it is. Take the L's and be like, you know what, that is a good point, but that is a good micro point. But if you take the Bible in its totality and Christian culture and ethics and all that stuff, and the science that life does begin at conception, that they certainly didn't know when Exodus was written, that would be a better answer. But he's completely dodging the question.
Is already dead, and that's the point, is that the baby is already dead. That's a removal of a carcass
That's
of a
also
baby.
still medically
No,
an
it's
abortion.
not. That's
It
incorrect.
is.
No, it's not. No, it's not. A removal of a carcass of a baby is not an abortion. Those are two
It
technically
is.
different things. It is not a D&E. It is not. A D&E is something completely different. But then if you want to talk about scripture, do you think we are bound to all 613 Levitical laws?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So that's the Old Testament, so it doesn't count. Okay. I should have seen that coming. Well, I said, she's not a real Christian. I mean, that's up for y'all to decide. But real Christian or not, she got Charlie in a corner.
Do you think we are bound to all 613 Levitical laws?
Yes, if you're a follower of the Bible, you cannot pick and choose what you follow.
Oh, so
This is what I was taught. And you guys, maybe not you in the chat right now, but you guys were the ones that kept bringing up things that when I would reference the Old Testament, you're like, oh, we don't even care about that. We don't even listen to that. I'm with her. If you are a follower of the Bible, you cannot pick and choose what you follow.
Levitical laws.
Yes, if you're a follower of the Bible, you cannot pick and choose what you follow.
Oh, so you eat kosher?
You cannot pick
Do you
and
eat kosher?
choose. No.
Well, I thought you were bound to all 613 laws.
That's not what she said. What the question you should be asking it, okay, so is it a sin that you don't keep kosher? And she would say, yes, that is a sin. Just because you do something doesn't mean it's not a sin. Otherwise, sins wouldn't exist.
Kosher?
You cannot pick
Do you
and
eat kosher?
choose. No.
Well, I thought you were bound to all 613 laws.
I'm not perfect. I'm a sinner.
Hey, my girl. Let's go. She got this.
Everyone here is a sinner, but if
Well,
you
are we
choose,
bound to it? Do you think Christians should
if
eat kosher?
you choose to follow the Bible, you cannot pick and choose what you
Of
follow.
course, but we do believe in a new covenant and old covenant. So there's 3 types of Old Testament laws, right?
A great point from Equality said the 10 Commandments are also in the Old Testament.
There's ceremonial, there's civil and moral. So ceremonial laws we do not honor, civil we consider, moral
But
we
why?
absolutely.
Cope.
Why do humans
okay.
decide what to follow when
Well,
God's
because
the one
Christ
and it's God's
actually-
word?
Why do humans decide what to follow in God's word? Because it's not objective morality. You just use your human rationality to be like, oh, okay, we like this, but we don't like this. This is my favorite person on this whole stream. More than Funkmaster. Funkmaster, you right below her. But she to go right now.
Or moral
But
we
why?
absolutely do.
Why
Because
do humans
okay.
decide what to follow when
Well,
God's
because
the one
Christ
and it's
actually-
God's word?
It's not us. It's not humans. So Paul actually authored in the book of Colossians.
That's
that
a human.
Right, inspired by the Holy Spirit, which wrote the Bible. The ordinances of Moses are nailed to the cross. Secondly, Christ our Lord repeated 9 out of 10 of the 10 Commandments, and he said all the laws of the prophet hang upon the 2 teachings of Leviticus 19 and Deuteronomy 6. But now I equally have to challenge you with Scripture. In Luke 1, when Elizabeth came in contact with Mary, and both were babies, what did it say that John the Baptist did?
Guys, don't forget, it is a peanut butter night. We are 2 out of 15 super chats of any amount, and we are $30 out of $50 to get Morty his peanut butter and making me do push-ups with these puny little arms. Bulk me up.
I cannot tell you that.
He leapt.
Okay.
I kind of missed that. I'm gonna run.
With Luke 1, when Elizabeth came in contact with Mary, and both were babies, what did it say that John the Baptist did?
I cannot tell you that.
He leapt.
Okay.
Do non-babies leap?
It seems I'm the one that's confused here. But what?
Okay.
Do non-babies leap?
No, what is a non-baby?
I don't understand the question.
What is a non-baby? I mean, this is anything that's not a baby. This doesn't leap. This is not a baby. This is not a baby. But Morty's not a baby either, and he leaps. What are we talking about? Fox said, my brother called from federal prison. I was out there. Shout out to him, and hope he is doing all right.
Gonna be honest.
Well, isn't it a baby then worthy of protection if they're leaping?
Sure.
Yes, and it was the Greek word brephos, which literally means baby, intentionally used throughout. Hold on. In Jeremiah, it says, I knew you before you were in the womb. In Psalm, I think 139, it's one of the most intricate verses about the detail of our formation process as human beings. And finally, because of science, because of biology, we know that human life begins at that spark of new DNA. And God says, do not murder. And it's incumbent on Christians to therefore protect that life.
But as Equality said, do not murder. That is an Old Testament thing. And so, again, I agree that Charlie is correct. And the overall message of the Bible and Christian ethics would not allow you to perform abortions. But she brought up a fantastic point about a specific quote that is directly relevant to what we're talking about. It's not, about some vague thing or something else. It's specifically about men ending a pregnancy. And, I don't know what else to tell you. The only way he could get around it was he should have been like, you know what? You're right. That's a good point. But everything else kind of supersedes that. That would have been a much more good faith answer, I think. But, if you can talk your way around it, Charlie, Andrew Wilson, they all know how to do it well.
Arc of new DNA, and God says do not murder, and it's incumbent on Christians to therefore protect that life.
Okay. So my biggest question is, I'm not saying that all abortion is valid. I feel like that's up for everyone to decide. But even if it's very small percentage, in the very small percentage that a baby is alive, but it has to be aborted for the sake of the mother, what do you think is the right thing?
What is a C-section?
A C-section is when you cut a mother's
Why don't they do that instead of the abortion?
Because it could be equally as dangerous.
Wrong. It's much safer than an abortion and quicker.
Do you have evidence?
I mean, yes, it's self-evident.
Can you tell me?
I mean,
okay, how many C-sections end with a baby dying versus how many abortions end with a baby dying?
Again, there's plenty of people.
The evidence.
He has plenty of people that are in medicine can tell you, but to be very clear, think about it. Every hospital is equipped to do C-sections. You have to go to a specific place for an abortion. And a C-section, 1/3 out of everyone in this audience was born by C-section. C-sections save lives. They do not terminate lives. And so when they say we must abort the baby, thanks to modern technology, that's actually a false choice. You could take the baby out of the environment and try to save its life as a cesarean section.
What if when the C-section happens, the baby's not able to survive on its own no matter what?
Okay, well, then that's a separate circumstance. It's like saying if the baby has a heart attack after the C-section, that's not a reason not to terminate it.
What do you mean?
If you have to give everybody a chance at life.
Fox News said we were forced into a C-section, I believe. What exactly do you mean by that?
You don't kill the baby in the womb just because you think that it's going to, well, it could hurt the mother. You take it out of that environment.
Okay, but
And yeah, once an artificial womb is a common thing, then abortions should just be a thing of the past.
what I'm saying is, if they take the baby out and they know it's not going to survive regardless,
How
why
do they know that post 22 weeks? You don't know that. There's miracles that happen every day in the
That is very
neonatal
true,
in
but-
the neonatal intensive care unit. There's miracles that happen every day in NICUs.
And when I say miracle, I don't really say the word miracle, but when I agree with the fact that he's going to say there's miracles in the NICU, I just mean that as things that we wouldn't expect to happen. Nothing to do with God, but it's a miracle.
And I agree. There's definitely, they don't know 100% for sure, but there's definitely probability through science, through biology, that they know, hey, this is more likely going to happen.
We don't do morals on probability.
Yup. So Boggs said we were forced into a C-section, I believe. They will wait till 4 a.m. after 5 hours of labor and start suggesting it. Once you have a C-section, you kind of have to keep doing it too. Okay, but why are they suggesting it? I think that kind of matters. Maybe it's safer, and that's why they're suggesting it. I mean, I guess I get. I mean that part I don't know, but I'll have to take your word for it.
And through biology, that they know, hey, this is more likely going to happen.
We don't do morals on probability.
I'm not saying it's morality. I'm saying probability of a baby is going to survive or not.
Doesn't matter.
Right, but he's saying that just because the probability is not in the baby's favor doesn't mean that we kill it.
You don't terminate a life based on a probability of survival. Oh, you do? Interesting. You guys murder people based on probability of survival?
I mean, this is a strong statement. I think that most people in the medical community, I'm sure there are people who practice medicine at that level and are just in it for the money. We've seen the pill what do they call it, the pill farms or whatever the hell they were called. Then of course, specifically within gender affirming care, that's obviously a racket. There's other bullshit as well. I mean, plastic surgery, you're definitely like, oh, you can do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that. But when it comes to natal care, I feel like, any ladies want to weigh in? Because I feel like you're going a little too hard. That as if there's not legitimate reasons for C-sections. And let's ask ChatGPT what's the percentage breakdown? What is the percentage breakdown? Come on, breakdown of babies born through natural vaginal birth versus C-section births in America. Let's see. I mean, it's not free, but I definitely agree that they get paid more based on the surgery. But to say that because they get paid more, that they are going to, put people in a less than ideal situation needs some type of evidence behind it, because they make more money if you you could do that with anything. And so again, I'm not necessarily saying you're wrong, but you need something more than they make more money. So the question was, what is the percentage breakdown of babies born through natural vaginal birth versus C-section births in America? Breakdown is 68% natural and only 32 C-sections. So just based off of that, I would expect the numbers to be bigger of C-sections if it was that easy to just be like, let's do this one as a C-section. Maybe more than 50, but let's see. So yeah, these are the numbers. 32% according to the CDC. For every 100 births, 68 yeah, we know how percentages work. So I know this isn't going to give me anything like conspiratorial, but let's just ask for fun. What about the notion of doctors pushing for a C-section when it's not necessary because it makes them more money? Matthew King said, I'm sure some doctors push C-sections. They're absolutely more controlled, and you can schedule them. Yeah, I know. What? Hey, shout out to Adam. Welcome to the party. Hey, you got a gifted membership. There you go. So what that means is that you have full access to the Discord server. So there's a free link at the top of the chat where we are hanging out all the time. But by just by being a member, you get access to the whole thing. And as soon as we are done here, we are headed over to the voice channel over there for an after party where you are not stuck behind your keyboard. You're actually on screen with me and everybody else, whether or not you want to cam up. Welcome. So again, I just asked, I know ChatGPT is not going to be like, yeah, the fucking doctors are, I know they're not going to be like that, but just to see what it says, what about the notion of doctors pushing for C-section when it's not necessary because it makes them more money? ChatGPT. So the idea that doctors sometimes push for unnecessary C-sections for financial or convenience reason is a real concern, and it's not just a conspiracy theory. It's been studied and debated in medical, economic, and ethical contexts for years. All right, so maybe we're getting a little bit of more information. I think if you didn't know any of this, then still odd to just jump to that conclusion, but doesn't mean that you ain't right. All right, so financial incentives, they're more expensive. So we're talking about, okay. I saw the first number, but 13K versus 17 to 20K. So at the high end, we're talking about $7,000 for a doctor per patient, but $7,000. Hospitals and doctors make more money for C-sections, especially in private insurance contexts. The fee for service model, where doctors and hospitals are paid per procedure, there is a built-in incentive to perform more interventions, including C-sections. So convenience and scheduling, vaginal births can be unpredictable and take hours or even days. C-sections can be scheduled during working hours, making the physician's life easier. This creates a subtle pressure, especially if the doctor is balancing multiple patients or trying to avoid being called in at night or on the weekends. Statistical evidence. So C-section rates rise on Fridays and before the holidays when doctors may want to avoid a weekend or holiday calls. Yikes. Private hospitals tend to have higher C-section rates than public ones, suggesting financial motives might be a factor. Women with private insurance are more likely to get C-sections for the same reasons. So the gray area, defensive medicine. Some doctors perform C-sections to avoid liability. If vaginal birth goes wrong, they could be sued. C-sections can feel like the safe legal choice, even if it's not medically necessary. This isn't always about greed. Sometimes it's about fear of being sued. So the counterpoint. Most OBGYNs don't make decisions lightly. In many cases, C-sections are life-saving and absolutely necessary. A blanket assumption that doctors are just doing it for the money oversimplifies a complex system, but incentives matter, and systemic trends suggest that money and convenience can play a role. So you're not crazy. But like I said, I felt pressure in the moment. My kid's mom definitely felt the pressure. They waited until we were tired in the early morning. And again, I wasn't there, so I'm not going to tell you what did or didn't happen. But it does make sense that it is possible that the labor was taken, a certain amount of time, and that was the right choice, both for kid's mom and for the doctors. We'd have to have something to say, no, that's not the case, before we really come to that conclusion. If you're saying, I felt pressured and in general there's an incentive, you're right. But is that enough? All right, I'm back in.
Interesting. You guys murder people based on probability of survival? Interesting. So somebody on a ventilator should just be murdered? I mean, it's such incredible morality.
Would you keep someone on a ventilator for the entirety of everything else then?
It depends. There's two different things. There's no...
I got a DNR. I've already told all the important people, yo, if I'm a vegetable, unplug me. I ain't trying to live like that.
More and not yet. Once you reach the level of no more human interventions can improve this person's life or bring them back to a full life, that is a separate moral decision than not yet. When a human being is at not yet, which they are in the womb, you must do everything you can to make sure they get life. When a human being is at no more, it's a completely separate moral dimension and decision to make. No more and not yet are the ways to look at pro-life decisions. That make sense?
Yes, that makes.
I would say to you, Box, thank you for the side quest because I just learned a lot more about that. I thought that, that was a lot more conspiratorial. I definitely understood where you were coming from, and I wasn't saying, no, that's silly. It couldn't possibly be the case. But the degree to which even ChatGPT is giving credence to what you're saying, if ChatGPT is going to say it, then it's certainly not something that controversial because they're going to stay online.
Moral dimension and decision to make. No more and not yet are the ways to look at pro-life decisions. That make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. Well, thank you for debating with me,
Thank you very much.
Don't agree to disagree.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Thank you.
All
Okay,
right. Oh, we got the wannabe emo, bro. You would have fit in. I mean, that was me. That was me in 2006. Literally. I couldn't, my hair was curlier then, so I couldn't do the swoopy hair. But he's bringing it back. But he's got the girly nose ring. So red flag. You should be vindicated. Or, well, you are vindicated. I like vegetables. Well, yeah, I like to eat vegetables. I don't like to be a vegetable.
Thank you very much.
Don't agree to disagree.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Thank you.
Okay, I didn't think I'd make it here, but okay, politics are meant to separate us. What do you think of that?
Wrong.
Why?
Politics is the highest form of community because it blends sociality, sociability, and morality.
The fact that we disagree about politics doesn't mean that is the function. Now, we can talk about aspects of the political landscape, like the media and activists and stuff like that. That is meant to divide us. But the notion that we should have some type of system is specifically to keep us together. The fact that it's not, again, goes back to the activists, social media and the mainstream media.
Why?
Politics is the highest form of community because it blends sociality, sociability, and morality.
Hey, yo. We still have to do the part 2. We did Kill Bill Volume 1 as a watch party, and I've been waiting for you guys to figure out a good time. So, Adam, maybe you can lead the charge on the Kill Bill rewatch in Discord. I'm here for it.
Why?
Politics is the highest form of community because it blends sociality, sociability, and morality. We are political beings naturally. But politics actually is meant to bring us together. Look how everyone is brought together here in defense of the country and liberty and freedom. This is actually a unifying event, not a dividing one.
Okay, but we've survived for millions of years without politics, for thousands.
No, we haven't. No, we haven't. Just because there's not a set government doesn't mean there's not politics. You, if you're in a tribe of 30 people and you just came back from a hunt and you want to give somebody some extra meat because they are whatever. I'm always looking to give a little bit extra meat, you know what I'm saying? But that's politics. That's politics. We can definitely do Boondock Saints. Absolutely. As I said, guys, it's up to if we can agree on a time, I will be there. But because I don't know what you guys are doing, it has to be up to you guys. So, set 3 different times being like, all right, how about Tuesday afternoon, Saturday night, or Sunday evening? And I'll give you 3 things to pick from, and I will be there.
Okay, but we've survived for millions of years without politics, for thousands, I'm sorry.
Wrong. Every civilization, every custom has always had some political structure. They've had kings, they've had...
How far behind are you? How far behind are you?
Pharaohs, they've had czars, they've had some sort of governing structure is political by nature.
But those weren't debating, you know, you didn't debate to have those kings.
Of course you did. You had debates all the time. Even in Jesus' time, the Sadducees debated the Pharisees, and debated the Romans, and they debated the Samaritans, and they debated the Judeans. We are political beings by nature. Man is a political animal.
Okay, but why hasn't there been some sort of middle ground in between the two?
Oh, I mean, I'm sorry, what?
Why hasn't there been a sort of middle ground in between the two?
I mean, I don't know. Ask the left that. We found middle ground with some of these questioners. We brought a liberal up, and he was pro-trans, and we found middle ground on very important issues. No men and female sports and no castration of kids. We did find middle ground here.
So that's what I was thinking, that these events are a lot longer than the video that we see. And so this is about an hour and a half. I would imagine he was there for a good at least 5, 6, 7 hours.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. The facial expressions already.
Were you rolling your eyes because they were saying USA?
Yeah, actually.
Oh, come on.
You're destroying America. You are actively contributing more to the decline of the American empire than every communist in history.
Here we go, baby. Here we go. Is it all? Of course not.
Let
Literally every
let him talk.
left-wing,
Let him talk.
anti-war, anti-American activist.
I'm giving you space. Yeah. Allow him or her. I'm sorry. I don't mean to misgender you to talk. So.
Wow. So first of all, I just want to congratulate you on the organizational strategy. I mean, just figuring out, realizing that none of you would not get a tenth of this crowd if you actually just talk to students. So you had to bust in people from the retirement homes. I think that's really smart. Actually, it's a sign of great intelligence that you decided to do that.
No one.
Why are they all like this? If you want to, let's say that there is people from the retirement home bust in. Let's say that is the case. Say it with your fucking chest. Be like, why are you busting people in? No, well, yeah, I think it's really good. It's a good thing. No, you don't. Stop lying. Stop being a fucking degenerate. Speak truth.
I think that's really smart. Actually, it's a sign of great intelligence that you decided to do that.
No one was bussed in, my friend.
Yeah, then wow. So
you brought up the non-baby that was from a while ago. So I was just saying, if you're back there, I always say that if you join the stream late, it's better to watch with us live so you can be part of the conversation. And then if you want to see the replay, you can watch that on your own anyway, because I'm not going to be there at the replay. So we were talking about the non-baby, a non-baby.
No one was bussed in, my friend.
Yeah, then wow.
So it's just a lie. Okay.
So would you explain all the people with silver hair and wrinkled skin?
Yeah. They like America. They care about what students and youth are saying and thinking about politics. I've got gray hair. I'm not physically there, but I'm here watching this because I care.
Yes, they have cars and they drove to see us.
Yeah, wow. And these are UCR students.
You do know that boomers drive too.
Yeah, I do. Now, I just want to congratulate again. I feel it's really admirable that you're just getting people.
And we're gonna do it again. You didn't get your point across the first time. I don't like you, but I'm gonna pretend to be nice. So you're gonna do it again. Okay, brilliant.
By the way, can you find one older person right here? I'm starting to look at it. Can you Okay, yeah, wow, you found one. And by the way,
the entire crowd over there.
By the way, what is the criticism? We represent Americans of all ages, from young to old. Why is that a bad
campus, dude? I've seen your tactics before, man. I know my school district. I've been to school district protests before. The people you send in to manufacture the belief that you're actually popular with the American citizenship, you import people from all over, man. None of these.
Projection. We know that it's the Democrats that have paid protesters. Come on, man. Come on. Do better.
These people no one is imported. They all came by them. Find a single person. You know what this is? This is the
cope and projection. They know that they do this, so they assume that you must do it. It's cope, it's projection, and it's solipsism all in one.
left refusing to believe we're very popular on a liberal college campus in California.
He just proved it because you're not, dude. He tries to scream over the cheering crowd. Come on.
Stupid. Left refusing to believe we're very popular on a liberal college campus in California. He can't believe. He's like, he must be busing people in. He must be. There's no way that people actually want to make America great again.
They literally don't.
They literally don't, bro. People don't want to make America great again. Solipsism and projection. Just because you don't want to make America great again, you assume that nobody would want to make America great again. No, you're just wrong. You're just wrong, and you're all alone trying to appeal to the mob that ain't there.
My friend, co-partner, because we're very, very popular.
No, you're not.
What's your question?
So I don't really have a question. I just want to say,
I don't really have anything to say. I just want to bitch and moan for a little bit.
nothing you said so far has been even remotely accurate. Not a single argument you made from the census, the one that Trump elite.
I mean, there was a couple bad arguments in there. Let's see where this goes. Is this going to be another person to turn me around? I don't think so, but let's see.
Legally stopped to miscount California's population in order to deny us seats in the legislature. That's bullshit. I don't know, the environmental like, oh yeah, we should build more homes in Joshua Tree. We should bulldoze like endangered
what
Joshua
are you
trees,
talking about, bro?
Get rid of wildlife reservations so I can build more like single family suburban homes. That'll solve the housing crisis, yeah?
Oh yeah, as opposed to just throwing money at people. What are we doing? What are we doing? But I'm glad their college is creating real people with real objectivity. Real people still exist. Indeed. Bro can still change his ways. He just needs to listen to his dad. Oh, what a burn. Burn. Your father failed you. Your father failed you.
Because it's definitely nature reserves that are like holding up all of this usable land, which is right next to like major cities.
Can you
and
not
it's not
swear
in the
every
middle
other
of
word?
desert.
Can you have a little bit more respect?
I don't know. Maybe I could have a bit more respect if you actually debated instead of just bringing on people who come here to.
He's literally asking you to ask him a question so that you can debate, and you won't do it. But he's the one that won't actually debate. Projection. Projection is their native tongue.
Like I don't know.
Hold on. I mean, would you like to debate, or do you want to swear every other word?
I mean, I don't know, man.
I don't know, man.
Would you like to debate, or would
I'm
you
just
like to
liking the attention.
get college students who agree with you on in front of you just to like?
You are in front of the microphone. You are standing at the microphone. Nobody else in that crowd is centered and on camera and has a microphone. And yet you are still willing to complain that, oh, I didn't get enough. It's only people that agree with you. Maybe because we're right. You ever think of that?
Get college students who agree with you on in front of you just to like I don't know. I mean, obviously there are
you don't know
better places you could be doing this, but I'm not going to go into that. What
you just did go into that.
What I'm going to tackle, for instance, is I don't know your abortion thing. You mentioned you think abortion is a scientific thing, like what like life starts at conception. That's it.
Yep, life indeed starts at conception. Folks, there are people for whom I can instantly tell were never told their ideas were dumb. He is one of them.
Yep, scientifically proven. How?
When does your DNA start?
DNA start? Man, your DNA.
When is your DNA?
I thought Charlie was the one who wasn't willing to debate. Now he's giving you a direct question about a thing that you brought up, and you just repeat the question and add fuck.
Start.
DNA start? Man, your DNA.
When is your DNA formed?
Are you seriously arguing that the seat of the soul is DNA?
No, it's the beginning of the process of human development. When did your development begin as a human?
No. I'll argue that. Yes. Whatever. What was the specific question? That
the soul is.
Are you arguing that the soul is the seat of the soul?
DNA.
No, it's DNA. Yes. What do you say it is? Well, it's a vibe.
It's the beginning of the process of human development. When did your development begin as a human?
I mean, yes.
I mean, this development as a human being maybe is not quite there.
I'm a bio student. I'm aware of the process.
Oh, he's a bio student. He's a bio student that doesn't understand sex or conception. The first one doesn't surprise me. The second one doesn't really either. College is a scam.
Or development begin as a human.
I mean, yes, I'm a bio student. I am aware of the process of gamete fusion, man. I know what a zygote is. That's not a that's not a moral qualifier.
It is if you treat DNA as DNA.
That's when, wait, hold on. So it's a human, and human development begins at conception. Therefore, human life begins at conception.
Human life begins. Oh my God. So I'm sorry. What do you just?
Oh my God! Like, are you seriously saying that? Like, I don't have anything to say right now, so I'm just gonna act super offended, upset. Like, oh my God, you're really? That's what you're gonna say right now? Like, come on. Adam says you can always tell which mama slapped their legs together when they were born. Yikes! I'll give that a dilly. This motherfucker needs to be slapped.
And therefore, human life begins at conception.
Human life begins. Oh my God. So I'm sorry. What do you think the actual moral significance of a human is compared to any other kind of animal?
Well, first of all, we are the only beings that can blush, can show love, show empathy, compassion, and have a soul.
Not all of those, but I do agree that humans are superior to animals because of the fact that we are aware and we have consciousness, we have all of those other things. But Morty loves me. I don't know. I don't care who's going to say what. Morty fucking loves me.
We are the only beings that can blush, can show love, show empathy, compassion, and have a soul. A dog can feel pleasure and pain. We can do good from evil and right from wrong and just from unjust. We and human beings are above the animals and below the angels, made in the image of our creator, God Almighty.
Okay, one, that's not... Okay, one, there's like... Okay, one, that's founded in nothing. Like, literally nothing. There is no soul. But two, I mean... Okay, even if it was, zygotes are not capable of any of that. Like, literally none of that.
What does capability have to do with the categorization of what it is?
Well, but why not?
I'm sorry, do you seriously
they have a soul.
And again, you just can't answer. What? Seriously? No, unseriously. I'm just sitting here to ask you unserious questions.
Stupid.
Well, but why not?
I'm sorry, do you seriously
they have a soul.
Do you
and
seriously
also,
expect me
regardless of whether or not I can win you over on the soul, that's still a process of human development. There's a process where a zygote then becomes what you would call a fetus or a baby, and then it forms all the way in to an infant. Well, human development starts at a moment. We believe that the earliest moment of human development is worthy of protection.
Yeah, a colleague saying he doesn't have a chest to say it with his chest. He's got sand in his vagina. I think this actually might be a female. I'm not sure. I think there was something about gender at the beginning, but either way.
Development starts at a moment. We believe that the earliest moment of human development is worthy of protection. So I would ask you, when does human life begin?
Well, I mean, so if you're, what do you mean? Like, are you talking about like
when? So that's a point in time. Does, that's a thing happening. Human, that's our species. Life, that's an aspect of being alive. Begin, that means start. When does human life begin?
Stupid.
Did your life begin?
So my life, in what sense? Do you mean like literally define life, like right now?
When did your life become worthy of protection?
In what sense? Are you talking about the metabolic?
I just did. When did your life become worthy of protection?
When I became actually conscious and able to speak.
So like
able to speak. So homeboy or girl or whatever the fuck it is okay with just murdering 2-year-olds because they can't speak. Yikes. Shout out to Boss with the $5. Thank you so very, very much, sir. Said, would you rather have a medal or a chest to pin it on? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That is a fucking bar. Would you rather have a medal or a chest to pin it on? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I would rather have a chest to pin it on. Pilates? Who's Pilates? The inventor of Pilates? Dog owners are better than other people. Sorry. I said your husband should be in the waiting room handing out cigars, not coaching his bride, pushing a watermelon out of the equivalent of her sinuses. Well, some people are into it. Not like that. I mean, like, into it, like, It's a special moment, not in a weird way.
Become worthy of protection.
When I became actually conscious and able to speak.
So like able to speak. So like 2 years old.
I think I was a bit earlier than that. Yeah.
No, babies.
He thinks saying that he was beginning to speak earlier than other babies at 2 years old somehow strengthens his position on the beginning of life.
Stupid.
You cannot make this shit up.
Like able to speak. So like 2 years old.
I think I was a bit earlier than that. Yeah.
No, babies usually don't speak till about year and a half. So if I murdered you at 6 months, that's okay?
Yes.
Oh, baby murderer! Baby murderer! We found him. Call the cops. Call the cops. Call the cops. He is okay with murdering 6-year-olds. He said it out of his own fucking face. Out of his own fucking face.
For a year and a half. So if I murdered you at 6 months, that's okay?
Yes.
So now the question becomes, does this guy actually believe this? Or is he just trying to go against anything that Charlie says? He's trying to be that guy. Because you know that there's a bunch of people who don't like Charlie Kirk who are going to watch this, and anything that you can say that is going to surprise Charlie or not go along with his narrative is going to be like, oh, you got him. Yeah. I mean, hey. If nothing else, he said that with his whole chest. Yikes. Maybe not the right thing to say with your whole chest, but stand on a business. Adam said, I subscribe to the Roman concept of children not having souls until they were 1. This gives the father a chance to abort too. So, meaning you, so you don't believe, so, I mean, let's ask you the same question then. What happens to, what happens if somebody murders a 6-year-old, excuse me. What happens legally in your, or what should happen legally to a man, woman who murders a 6-month-old baby? Because they don't have a soul, according to what you're saying. So is that okay to just murder 6-year-olds? Genuine question.
You at 6 months, that's okay?
Yes.
And you're a bio student at UC Riverside.
Yes.
What about babies that never
College is a scam.
speak? Can I murder them?
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is very ableist against people with autism or other non-verbal conditions. If they can't speak, you can murder them. According to, what does this shirt say? I don't know. It's stupid. But according to this fruitcake.
What about babies that never speak? Can I murder them?
Oh my God.
So, oh my God. Oh my God.
Disabled babies and people without that sort of intelligence. I'm not saying that like physical speech is a qualifier necessarily.
Except that you did. Physical speech as opposed to metaphorical speech?
For like morality or whatever, or like moral significance. But
morality or like whatever, like talk like a fucking person.
Some actual nervous activity, and I don't mean just like the whatever, like the fetus like thing in the womb. That's not a qualifier for like human. Like pigs are capable of that much. Like, are you a vegetarian? Or do you eat meat?
No, but again,
no, because we agree that humans are higher on the food chain.
Animals will never reach the level of human reason or consciousness. A human is valued because it is a human being.
And a disabled person also would.
Correct. And they're still valuable because they're a person. They're a human being. They're not a snake. They're not a lizard. They're not a toad. They're not a leopard. They're a human being, therefore worthy of protection.
So ableist. So ableist. It's funny because I was talking, you know, if you guys are not familiar, I've been talking about, you know, you guys don't care about what I'm watching usually. And I always want to talk to people about stuff that I'm watching. So I was watching The Sopranos, and I was talking about Breaking Bad a lot. So, skip the part there. Started posting on TikTok about that kind of stuff. So, you know, the political stuff and all that, and, you know, growing the channel. That's more just for me. But started posting over on TikTok about that's also true. That's what the smell of grass is. The screaming of dying grass. But I started posting that, and somebody was trying to present the notion that I was ableist because I stated that when I was first watching Breaking Bad, I just didn't understand why RJ Mitty, the guy who plays Walter Jr., was handicapped in the context of the story. And then in the next breath, I said, obviously, I am sensitive to the fact that you don't have to be the disabled person, even though you're disabled and you're an actor. All I'm saying is that it stuck out. And like, oh, of course, the Walter White fanboy, after I made a bunch of videos about how Walter's a really bad guy. He's just a morally gray character, literally. Like, literally. People are stupid. And I bet you it was this dude. So Adam said, I subscribe to the Roman concept of children not having souls until they were 1. This gives the father a chance to abort too. It goes on to say, I believe in life at birth, but when I meet people who do this game of when does life begins, I blow their minds by saying that. I mean, I believe in life at conception. Yeah. So yeah, so life begins at conception, but you don't have a soul until you're 1? Is that the long and short of what you're saying? Because I mean, that at least somewhat makes sense.
They're not a snake, they're not a lizard, they're not a toad, they're not a leopard. They're a human being, therefore worthy of protection.
Bingo. Okay, so
let me ask you a question. Would you save 100 dogs' lives or 1 human life?
1 human life?
Why?
Well, I mean, it depends on the human. Obviously, I would save a trillion. So I would save 1 dog over your life, but
no. Tell me why.
It's all point scoring. Well, if you're the person,
and we'll close with this. The fact that he's a bio student at this university shows the horrifying moral rot happening in higher education, and Trump should defund all these schools as evidence. Thank you very much.
Yep.
So you're ending this right now? Okay.
We have a long.
Is there anything else that you have to say that is important or relevant? No, you're done.
Fine, we're running out of time. Thank you. I've heard a lot of things, but terminating a 9-month-old baby, that's something else.
Just for context,
hey, all right, we got some heavies in the building.
I'm open to learning and being informed, but I do believe we have a disagreement when it comes to DEI. You think it stands for didn't earn.
Oh, Jesus. Don't forget, guys, I am DEI certified. So whatever is about to go down, I am uniquely qualified to not only talk about this, but to judge exactly what she's saying, to tell you, the uncertified people in DEI, whether she is right or not. And guys, we are coming up on that 2.5 hour mark. We are close to the swole goal, but either way, you guys know, if you want the party to keep going, where the fuck is that shit? You know how to do it.
Being informed, but I do believe we have a disagreement when it comes to DEI. You think it stands for didn't earn it. Essentially that colleges are dropping the bar, but I think they're just opening the door.
To what? To what? Opening the door to what?
So, for example, a recent Harvard analysis by Top Economics found that students from the wealthiest 1% of families are 13 times more likely to score in the 1300 plus range.
Right over my head.
For the SAT than students from the poorest families. And I don't think that's because rich kids are 13 times smarter, but it's because they have access to better schools, private tutors, test prep, everything, right? And according to the University of California.
Why is that sad? I specifically was talking before about how we've addressed how public speaking is difficult, and getting in that moment, you are likely to not be as with your wits as if you're just having a calm conversation. What's the difference between having a piece of paper and a phone versus bringing a laptop? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Fuckmaster General said she seems nice. I agree. This lazy motherfucker. Eat your treat. I'm not that far away. Go. Hey, there it is. Out sponsoring himself. And of course, guys, that takes us over the mark. The swole goal has been met. And now it's time for the peanut butter. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Everybody put FMG in the chat. There we go. There we go. Oh, he's awake now. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very, very much. Adam said, I'm an atheist, so the soul is not how I get to when life begins. To me, based on what we know, when conception happens, that life will mature into a human with unique DNA signature. I'm right there with you, every aspect. I am also an atheist. I also understand the science of conception, and whether or not a soul exists is irrelevant to life beginning at conception. Dig it. Dig it. Thank you, thank you, thank you again. Funk Master General, look at him, he's loving it, look at him. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
For tutors.
So let's back up that up. So
analysis by Topic Economics found that students from the wealthiest 1% of families are 13 times more likely to score in the
reading too fast
1300 plus range for the SAT than students from the poorest families. And I don't think that's because rich kids are 13 times smarter, but it's because they have access to better schools, private tutors, test prep, everything, right?
Right. And so if you have that money, you will have the equal opportunity to buy those services.
And according to the University of California, they show that family background accounts for 40% of the variance in SAT/ACT scores among UC applicants.
What? How does being an atheist drop all pretense of morals? What does God have to do with murdering babies? What are you talking about, Willis?
Of the variance in SAT/ACT scores among UC applicants. I would also like to mention that the Diversity in Society's Leaders, the Casual Effects of Admissions at Highly Selective Private Colleges, a study shown by the National Bureau of Economic Research, that I think that if you think it's based on race, at times I think it's based on wealth. So legacy applicants, children.
I agree. It's the left that is constantly focusing on race when all of us are saying it's not a race issue. It's a class issue that happens to affect black people more than white people. But it also affects white people and Latinos and Asians and poor people. It's about class. It's not about race.
If you think it's based on race, at times I think it's based on wealth. So legacy applicants, children of donors, and recruited athletes were significantly more likely to be admitted than other students with the same academic credentials. So,
yeah, like things are unfair in life sometimes.
Yeah, elite schools like Harvard, legacy students are about 5 to 6 times more likely to be admitted than non-legacy students with similar SAT scores. Roughly 43% of white students admitted to Harvard from 2000 to 2015 fell into one of the 4 categories, right? Legacy athletes, dean's interest list, or children of faculty or staff. 3/4 of these ALDC admits, 75%, would not have been admitted if evaluated only on academic credentials.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. What is the fucking question? What is your what are you trying to get here? Get at? What are you trying to get at? I said I would need a better view of them to say she does or does not have a nice rack. Do you though? Do you though? Let's... If you can't tell, that's a nice rack. You might be gay.
My question is, I guess,
guys, do please remember that even though we have already hit the goal, every $2 equals 1 more push-up. So we're at 55. I'm rounding down. So we're at, 23, 22 push-ups. That still counts as the more the number goes up, the more the push-ups go up.
My question is, I guess, do you believe that DEI could possibly not stand for diversity, equity, didn't earn it, but can stand for actual diversity.
No.
Diversity
Well, yes, diversity of skin color, which is not a thing that we want, or gender.
of abilities. When you go into a job or to a school, they don't just ask for your SAT score. They ask what kind of clubs you were into. They ask you to submit an essay. They are a holistic academic review. So why do you think didn't earn it? If maybe they got a less.
Again, just ask the question. You've already asked the question. Why do you think it stands for that and not about actual diversity? That's the question. Just ask it.
SAT score, but them as a person are just more well-rounded than the person who had all these tutors but did nothing outside of it.
What yeah. Tell me about, do you know anything about the Students for Fair Admission case, the Supreme Court case at Harvard?
I would love to hear about it.
Yeah. So basically,
that was a nice feminine answer. I like her. She's off base, but I like her.
At Harvard, Asian and white students, they basically got 200 to 400 points knocked off of their score versus Black and Hispanic students. So it was disenfranchising white and Asian students. So if you support DEI, let's say you're in charge. Do you think that we should have all test scores be weighed the same? Or do you think that certain ethnic groups should get certain points because of their race?
I believe that we should acknowledge the fact that
fair. I would think. I mean, based on looks here, they seem fake, and I am, somebody who is prefers a natural situation. That being said, if you ain't got a situation, I ain't gonna be mad at a fake situation. But I will take natural B cups over fake D cups any day. Ty Cobb keeps trying to talk about, I have a nice rack, blah, 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 blah. I'm so proud of it. Picks or it didn't happen.
Points because of their race.
I believe that we should acknowledge the fact that certain students have a different starting point, and I would love to give everybody the opportunity.
We do. We do give everybody the opportunity. Just because that opportunity is farther away from some people doesn't mean it's not an equal opportunity. What you are arguing for is what Charlie Kirk was arguing for with the NBA argument and asking for equality of outcome, which is not meritocratic.
So how many points should a Black student get over a white student in admissions?
I think that SAT scores and points shouldn't be the only thing referenced.
But you have to answer the question because the status quo.
But it's not that black and white.
It is. So it is because that's why affirmative action was struck down by the Supreme Court.
But we're not talking about affirmative action. We're talking about DEI.
DEI is an outgrowth. Affirmative action is an outgrowth of DEI and vice versa. But let me give you another example of DEI. Do you think if I say to a group, let's say of Hispanic and Black people, I say you people, is that a microaggression?
Say that again. I'm so sorry.
If I was talking to a group of Hispanic or Black people and I happen to say you people, is that a microaggression?
I would think so, yes.
Okay, I think that's insane.
Why?
Because it's not a microaggression or racism to call any group of people you people. That's deep.
It's specifically saying people that are you. Where's the racism?
DEI in practice. So you guys might know about the group of clowns and the circus group of the D.
Of course you do. You woke little Black people. I mean, hey, if you're saying folks, then, I mean, do your thing, but fair is fair.
That's DEI in practice. So you guys might know about the group of clowns and the circus group of the Dean on F America thing. They fell apart in 1 week because one Black woman called Dean and Parker racist because they were associated with a woman who called a group of Black women you people, and they said you did not recognize microaggression. That's DEI in practice, where you could lose your entire job and your career for one misstatement. And you just showed it to me. Like, you think that's a microaggression to say you people to a group of Hispanic and Black people? We should not be policing the speech of people. Instead, we should be caring about one thing, and that's merit and merit only when we put together our institutions.
But if you base it on meritocracy, like I said, you're initially bringing in wealthy people who have these tutors but aren't well-rounded.
So that doesn't mean anything. Yes.
Do wealthy people get wealthy just by, the wind blowing them $1 million? Or is that also part of the merit, the merit? So, like, my ability to go to school essentially for free was earned by my father. I'm not saying that doesn't put me ahead. That's not a privilege. That's not a luxury. But it was earned. Not by me, but it was earned.
The degree of how good your parents are matter. Yes. If you have good...
Shout out to Papa Lutch. Dilly. And of course, guys, remember, let's keep this party raging.
It doesn't mean anything. Yes, the degree of how good your parents are matter. Yes. If you have good parents, you get something that people with bad parents don't get. That's applicable beyond college.
But with the people who score higher, let's say they didn't do anything, they are less likely to be able to take on challenges than the people who...
Life's not fair. And creating equality of outcome is just a different form of unfairness. We need more macroaggressions. I don't necessarily disagree. If you're going to be... If you think X, Y, and Z, like here's something that I think a lot of people would consider a macroaggression. The Black community is the biggest detriment to Black Americans, Black people, right? What was the other, right? Yeah, so the Black community is the biggest detriment to Black people in America. There's nothing, no entity, no group, no nothing that hurts Black people more than the notion and adherence to the Black community. Some people might call that a macroaggression, but that's my position, and I'm sticking with it, unless somebody can change my mind.
They are less likely to be able to take on challenges than the people who... Why wouldn't it matter?
Because inherently, you are penalizing those with good parents. The only way you can make this work...
You're not penalizing
Yes, you are.
them. No.
Yes, you are.
You're not excluding them.
The equality is in the opportunity. If everybody gets the opportunity, but I just don't make it, then that's life.
Not true. It is the only way we see this. In order to elevate equity, you must compromise excellence. And that's fine if that's your position, because there's only so many spots.
Is it though?
There's only so many places. And if you have a lot of qualified people and you want to try to get not as qualified people, you have to prevent the qualified people and elevate the unqualified people. That's what the Students for Fair Admissions case showed us.
You're thinking that DEI is versus excellence. I think DEI is for excellence.
Yeah, and you're wrong.
So
Show me one institution that got better the more it embraced DEI.
What? One institution that got better that embraced DEI.
That got
repeating the entire question to build yourself some time.
Got better the more it embraced DEI.
What? One institution that got better that embraced DEI.
That got smarter, more competitive, leaner, more productive, and that was better than it was 10 years ago.
I actually have an answer. But I don't think people are going to like it. I'm gonna hold on to that one. I'm gonna think about that a little more. I don't know. I'm gonna hold off on that.
Yeah.
That got smarter, more competitive, leaner, more productive, and that was better than it was 10 years ago. Are our airports more efficient? Are we landing planes better? Are our airlines better? Is our
Yo, Adam, I like you, dude. I like you. It is certainly between the two. There are more Black babies. At least I need to figure out if this is across America or just in New York City. I know for sure it's in New York City, but I don't know how far and wide it goes. But every single year, there are more Black babies killed by Planned Parenthood than are born. Most Black pregnancies are aborted in New York City. Now, we could argue that is a cultural thing that comes from the ideas of the Black community, that it's okay to have 6 baby mamas and all that shit, and having 6 baby mamas or baby daddies and not wanting to have a 7th is a good reason to have an abortion. I mean, that's part of the culture, but either way, you are spot on. Shout out to Indy Bell. Welcome to the party. Fox is speaking my language. Box is speaking my language. Make low-rise jeans great again. I am so over the baggy mom pants. And it's not even necessarily the bagginess. It's the cut. So like what I'm interested I'm not interested in this as much as I'm going to pull this down just to I'm not so much interested in this as I am interested in what's right here. That's what's sexy. If your jeans are here and like there you got the little ridge, oh, that's so sexy. But women have become too fat. There was, oh, did I put it on my Twitter? I might have. Let's see. Hold on. It's got to be here. I'm pretty sure I did that. Oh, we got to watch that as well. I could have sworn. There's no way I didn't put it up here. Hold on. Really? Oh, I didn't put it up here. But there was this fat chick, like straight up just a fat woman being like, oh, I gotta show you guys. We all right, we're taking a side quest. There's a bunch of shit I gotta talk to you about. So there's this fat chick who had these leggings on, and she was, you know, her. If you want to talk about an hourglass shape, it was chink, and she's like, well, I'm not fat, but I'm not skinny. What do you think I am? And she turns around and shows her ass, and it's all fucking cottage cheese. It's like, just because you stuff your stomach into your waistband and move it over to make it look like you have hips doesn't mean you're not fat. You're fat. It's bad. Oh, shout out to Gen X, the last generation to be able to pull off low-rise jeans after the age of 18. Any film said some men like boobs, some like butts, and some like legs. TIJ likes the womb. What? Oh, the ridge, little V. Oh, that little V. Let's go. We got this. Low-rise jeans. All right, what are we talking about here? This is a good example. So, okay, of course it's the fucking call. But even these are not. These aren't low rise. These aren't low rise. They're lower. There we go. This is what we're talking about. The V. That's what I want to see. This is sexy to me. Having your fucking pants up right underneath your titties is just not sexy to me. It's just not sexy to me. I'm sorry. That, and I like women to be a little bit more than that. Not complaining about this. But if we can't do low-rise jeans, let's find hoo-wee. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that she is in the best figure, but if she was, this would be sexy. And then the other side of it is the fact that, you know, pants have become high waist. Now we're not in the back. Instead of seeing again the dimples right above the butt, now it's all the way up here, and they show a little bit of bottom cheek. I don't want to see bottom cheek. I don't know. So let's go through some of this stuff. I should have gone the other way. Hold on. Oh, we're here. Let's see. I got some stuff to show ya. All right, let's start with that one. Given we were just talking about the black community.
Getting no job.
Said my mama just told me that I can't get a job because they gonna take a Section 8 and her link card. She said government assistance is a cheat code for black peoples with an S.
Not getting no job. If you go get a job, they're gonna take my Section 8. Then you won't be able to get no Section 8.
That's the mother. This is why we need fathers in the home.
You're not going to get no job. They're gonna count your income against my Section 8 and my link card.
Oh no, you're gonna have to do shit, bitch. Bottom boob, I don't hate it, but I'd rather classic cleavage than like the bathing suits that look like they're on upside down and they like cover all this and then they leave some under boob here. No, I want to, you know, number one, leave a little bit to the imagination. If your bathing suit is just 3 strings, that's not like sexy to me. I can see naked women on the internet whenever I want. You have to be teasing a little something. All right. Dive it back in here.
You're not going to get no job. They're going to count your income against my Section 8 and my link card. You're not working. No. So I don't care what you got to say. I don't care how you feel. You're not working. You're not going to get a job. You're not going to school. You're not doing none of that shit.
But Mom,
this has nothing to do with the black community, though, right?
I'm saying how I'm supposed to be successful in life, Mom. So you basically telling me
you black. You ain't got to be supporting unless you take the government's money.
I gotta be broke to be successful. I gotta be broke so I can get Section 8.
You gotta be
so
broke so the government can help you.
So the government can help me. So you telling me I can't work no job, bro? Like that's like all my friends got jobs and live in nice houses. So you telling me I got to go through the same thing you went through?
If you don't do any of that, they're going to take my Section 8.
How?
And I'm
what they
trying
be
to
like?
tell you
What
that
they
you
be?
can go get yours like Eve. You can go get
They will they will look at that and be like, he's doing something and give me a bigger house, Mom.
Yep.
That's what you taught me.
Where I'm gonna go?
I don't
have no job.
I can get off your.
Where am I gonna go? Where am I gonna go? You need to take care of me. This was something that shout out to Kevin Samuel, Dilly, and R.I.P. to the Godfather. He would talk about son husbands. These women have son husbands. They have all these kids, no man around, except their sons. So now the sons become responsible for her, and that is exactly what we are seeing right here.
Yo, Section 8 and apply for my own Section 8.
But if you do that, you're gonna have to go the hard way. It's gonna take a long.
So what?
Oh, it's gonna be. You have to go the hard way to get Section 8. You have to get the hard way to get Section 8. Yeah, it doesn't make me angry. I mean, you know, any boob is boob, but over boob versus under boob.
That's what I'm
Wait
saying.
2 months, get on Section 8, find you a nice apartment, go get you a link card. You will be fine. You don't have to sit up and work. You don't have to work no job. The government is here to help us.
Interesting. Box says sons need to do better, reach out to their fathers. No one preaches that. I don't necessarily disagree, but that is also, you know, when you have a mother like this, what do you think? What do you think that she says about Dude's father? Oh yeah, has the rest of the of course, has the rest of the internet do you guys know about chat yet, or is that has that not left TikTok yet? So all right, so this was an article from the New York Times entitled "Men, Where Have You Gone? Please Come Back." So many men have retreated from intimacy, hiding behind firewalls, filters, and curated personas, dabbling and scrolling. We miss you. So that's kind of the long and short of it. Let's hear what this person says.
It's on the dating apps, kind of in relation to the male loneliness epidemic. It's about
you mean the female loneliness epidemic? That's female loneliness, not we're fine. And yep, fathers are definitely needed in their children's lives. Bingo. Unquestionable.
On the dating apps, kind of in relation to the male loneliness epidemic. It's about a very real modern dating experience that I feel like we have all had at one point or another, where either you get a guy's number or you're talking to him on the apps and you're texting, you're getting to know each other. Maybe you follow each other on Instagram. Maybe he swipes up on your story. And if the conversation is going really well, there's no movement or action on his part to set a date in person and get to know each other in real life. In the article, she labels this interaction as directionless orbiting, which I feel like is genius to label.
Directionless orbiting. So that's the other thing that was in the article, that men are doing this directional orbiting instead of you match with them, you go on a date, and you go from there. So I'm gonna do a poll about this, and we're talking about direction. What did she
She
say?
labels this interaction as directionless orbiting,
Directionless orbiting. That's what we are talking about.
which I feel like is genius to label it. I've been in this situation and it's so confusing because you think like, oh, did I do something wrong? Should I be making the first move? What's going on? Does he like me? Does he not like? Why did I just waste a week of my life talking to this person? So hopefully labeling it as this directionless orbiting can help kind of take some of the mystery and the frustration out of it.
All right. So I just put a poll up saying, is it weird to want to chat before you go on a date? And I specifically didn't, add any gender stuff or anything like that. Just in general, is it weird to want to chat before you go on a date? So when, so this is the video, and I said, I worked all day. This was yesterday. I worked all day, and this is the third video about this article that I've seen, and the reaction has shown me a few things. One, I'm not the only guy who likes to get to know someone before I hop into a dating scenario. Two, women are the ones that want to swipe in real life. It's not the men that are just jumping from woman to woman to woman, except in small numbers. And most women either don't qualify for that type of guy or don't qualify to be taken seriously by him. 4, I made a great decision to get off the apps. And 5, I have no reason to get back into trying to find someone unless chatting before you sleep with someone is first renormalized and then expected. Because right now, that's the worst thing you can do. Oh, they want a pen pal. I get that. All right. Well, so then I saw this and I was like, fuck it. I'm going to make my own video about this. You may have seen this posted on YouTube, and I would love for you to go give that a view. But this was what I had to say about that. All right, I worked all day, and yet I saw 3 different videos of women talking about that New York Times article of "Man, where have you gone?" or whatever it is, and the orbit, whatever the hell it was. And it taught me a number of things. What is it? Meaningless orbiting? Was that it? Meandering? Whatever. But yeah, that aspect of, wanting to know who you are, what you're about, what are you into, all that kind of stuff before I go on a date with you. Orbit, whatever the hell it was. And it taught me a number of things because I stepped away from the dating market a while ago. And when I say the dating market, I specifically mean the apps. I didn't really spend a lot of time outside my house. And now, because I work in a restaurant, I spend more time around other, around women. But, I decided a while ago to take a step back, and that was the right decision. Yep, Ty said the poll answer is no. How do these whores bed down with someone whose middle names they don't know? Because it's feminism. The first thing I realized is that it's not weird of me to want to, get to know somebody and carry on a conversation for a day or so. I'm not talking about weeks and months or whatever, but let's just chat a little bit before. One day, just one day. Give me 24 hours where we're talking, you've shown interest in me, and we're talking about stuff, movies, music, hobbies, life goals, politics, anything. Who the fuck are you? Where we go, though. I'm not talking about weeks and months or whatever, but let's just chat a little bit before we go on a date, or at the very least, before I commit to saying, yes, I'm going to take you out. I'm going to get out of my bed. I'm going to get dressed. I'm going to meet you there. I'm going to spend money. I'm going to, go through this jumping through hoops and to see if maybe you like me, and still have to pay either way. Still have to pay either way. And so the best thing for any guy is to be non-direct with women. If you are direct, they put you in the friend zone. Keep them guessing, and they will chase you like a dog. Shout out to anybody who was in the Sidework stream. I'm going to be doing those a lot more. I think you guys enjoyed it, and it made my time at work go a little bit faster. But y'all saw that I was using you guys as I was saying. There's one girl that I worked with that I'm kind of attracted to, and I think she's married. But again, just putting out that energy that hey, yo, I'm here for what we're doing. And I was just like, oh, the chat's asking who that hot girl is. And I was being direct, but I wasn't saying, hi, I like you. Do you think you would want to spend some time with me? Just jumping through hoops and to see if maybe you like me, and still have to pay either way. Crazy that men are like, no, but that's the thing, Ty. I thought that it was the women who wanted the pen pal. That, oh, I want to talk to you. I don't want to go out on a date with you before I know who you are. But it's exactly what I expect. And it's exactly the opposite. It is the men. It is the men who want to get to know someone before they date them. Now he gets the cap. Marty's got the cap as well. You guys treat him so well. I think that is the last one that I have full. So the next time we do a peanut butter run, you're going to get to see me slice the plastic on air and give it right to him. Moving on. Still have to pay either way. Crazy. That men are like, should I see if this is the right one first, or any clue that maybe she might be worth it? The second thing is that it's very clear that women are the ones who want to swipe in real life. As soon as one is not, gives you the ick, on to the next, on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. Except for the type of guy that is, a high value man or whatever, the same 20% of dude that every woman goes after. And thirdly, I realize that most women are hopefully starting to realize that either they don't qualify for that dude, or at the very least, they don't qualify to be taken seriously by that dude. And until it is re-normalized to want to chat with somebody before you go on a date and sleep with them within hours of knowing them, before that becomes re-normalized and then expected, I made the right decision to just not deal with any of them. Yeah, bring on the comments. Oh, I wouldn't be into you anyway, blah, 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 blah. First of all, yes, you would. I'm awesome and cute. And second of all, of course, it goes without saying, though I still have to say it is not all women. But clearly, if this is enough of a thing for a woman to write an article and make it into the New York Times, not that that's the hardest thing in the world, but it's there, and then for women to be resonating with it and talking about it really means that at the heart of it, men want to talk to you a little bit before we meet up. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's just that simple. If you don't want to get to know me through text a little bit, then what is it that you want from me in real life? How do you differentiate me from any other guy that you... And of course, that's a rhetorical question, and the obvious answer being indie films. You've swiped on or have accepted a date. Just seems like a, well, why not kind of thing. And that's why I stopped dating. And now I've been proven right. Come find me, ladies. I still want to get married. You come find me. I'm doing my thing. You come find me. Come find me. Funkmaster said you would think girls would want to know if you have a roadkill collection or something of the like before they get in the car with you. You would think that. But then where are they going to get the, oh my God, I have this terrible dating story that holds up my entire TikTok profile? Where are they going to get those stories? That's what it's like out here. That is what is like out here. Funk on point, as always. What was this? Shout out to Unwanted Foe.
Alden is the first. A little bit about the study that just came out of Sweden that is just so alarming.
The news is buzzing out of Lund University, Malmö, Sweden. Marcus Alden is the first author. The first demonstration in a human hepatic or liver cell line that the Pfizer vaccine, in fact, reverse transcribes and installs DNA into the human genome.
Wow. And so in simple terms, what does that mean, Dr. Bartlett?
Thank you for making it simple. So basically, there's an enzyme that can take that messenger RNA vaccine information and put it into the DNA of the person, into their DNA. And we were told that could not happen. So this is in a lab, but it's showing that you remember the vaccine is messenger RNA. Yeah. And we were told that messenger RNA could not go into your DNA, but this...
Well, they lied again. A little bit of liberal hypocrisy. Shout out to Athena here.
Yet another right-wing conspiracy theory. What do you know? Proven correct again. Do you guys know who Neera Tanden is by chance?
Put a one in the chat if you know who Neera Tanden is.
You know, proven correct again. Do you guys know who Neera Tanden is by chance? She was Biden's director of the White House Domestic Policy Council. And she testified under oath to the Oversight Committee that she signed off for Joe Biden with AutoPen.
Under oath. Under oath.
Multiple times. That AutoPen signature, yeah, that wasn't Joe Biden. And it wasn't just once or twice or for a couple months while he got some stuff together. We are talking from October 2021 to May 2023. 2 years. For 2 years, this woman acted and signed off as our president of the United States that we did not elect.
It's almost like we knew that when the signatures didn't match, that there was some fuckery afoot.
The problem isn't even the usage of AutoPen itself when the president is doing it. No one's arguing that that's acceptable. What they're questioning, though, is who was actually signing it? Was Biden even there for some of the signings? And did he even agree to what he was signing to? If this woman was the one actually signing off on certain...
Oh, hold on, I'm shifting. Then hold on.
of these documents every single time she signed off
There we
for
go.
it, because that would be illegal. So not only was this investigation still ongoing, but her testimony just completely changed the...
Oh, no. Again, bikini season has not gone by the wayside. They just started making bikinis where it starts up here. So again, you can stuff your fat into it, and they have enough on the side that it makes it look like hips. And then you just have a fat ass because you're fat. So bikini season is in full swing. It's just not what it used to be. But more importantly, we have proof. We have proof that we had an unelected official making laws.
the trajectory of the situation, because under oath, she admitted that she was the one signing Biden's documents. And I don't see one leftist talking about unelected fascism, no queens protests, unconstitutional, illegal. And then they'll come back with, well, I don't even love Biden. I didn't even love Biden back then. Well, baby, we didn't vote him in. I'm sure as shit of that.
Wasn't me. Wasn't me. Is that it? All right. That was the end of that side quest. One of the longer side quests, but important nonetheless. Important nonetheless. Back to the heavies. All right. Where were we?
DEI.
That got smarter, more competitive, leaner, more.
Yeah, anything that's gotten better because of DEI. And apparently, well, we got 5 votes. So we got only 7 people here. So yeah, 80% of you saying, no, it's not weird to actually want to have a conversation with someone before you go on a date. Crazy.
Productive, and that was better than it was 10 years ago. Are our airports more efficient? Are we landing planes better? Are our airlines better? Is our government better? Is our schools better? Is our universities better? Show me one example. Is our public health authorities better? Show me one institution that's embraced DEI that has become better, more excellent than it was 20 years ago. It doesn't exist. DEI will destroy an institution from within.
Let me ask you another question. When COVID happened, they removed...
Come on, man. I mean, maybe. But there are conspiracy theories out there that Biden died a long time ago, and the guy who was the president is a completely different person with the face mask. And I've seen some side-by-side comparisons, and, you know, age is a bitch, but I don't know. So I'm going to say no. Funmasters, I would like to start a conspiracy theory! Our eyebrows are space caterpillars here to spy on us. You can spy on me all goddamn day, girl.
Destroy an institution from within.
Let me ask you another question. When COVID happened, they removed the SAT scores, yet the graduation rates for Harvard were still the same. Do you think that because of... Sorry. With that
important political discussion.
That being said, since ACT wasn't even considered, schools are accepting people with the potential to succeed, because once you get in, you're still going off the same merit as everybody else.
A lot of people drop out that are, the problem with Harvard is that they now have professors, the ton of them that are saying they have to retake courses and remedial courses because these kids should never be here in the first place. And they happen to be a lot of Black and Hispanic kids that were let in strictly because of the color of their skin. So I guess my question is, do you care about the racial...
I mean, hey, she, she ain't bad either. I mean, she's not that chick, but I mean, you could do worse than that. You could do worse than that. Come on, we can do worse than that.
Racial makeup of a college.
The racial makeup of a college.
Like if a college was all white or all Asian, would that bother you?
I think it would stop them from being able to see different perspectives and thus improve their systems and improve the quality of their operation.
But why is diversity only skin color? Can't a bunch of white people also disagree?
No, because all white people think the same, just like all Black people think the same, just like all women think the same. Identity politics, aka wokeness, whether it's on the left or the right. Identity politics is wokeness.
Well, think of it this way: if I like my mom went to the hospital or something, and let's say her English is good, but her Spanish isn't. Her Spanish is good, but the English not so much, right? It would help that if a person who is Hispanic or no Spanish would be the one helping her, she'd feel more comfortable with that person because she understands and relates.
What?
Okay, I mean, yeah.
And then
you're in America. You should learn English. I don't know what to tell you, but
No, she is
Good. I mean, I'm not trying to be
she
insensitive or
understands
cruel.
English, but
Yeah, this is the language we speak here. You're not going to go to France and be like, well, why doesn't everybody speak English? Except for the fact that they do. And that's because America has such a heavy influence on the entire world, for better or worse. Any film said that conspiracy theory is fairly easily discounted when you look at the performance of Biden or the stand-in. Surely would put a capable person as a stand-in and not a dementia-ridden old pedo. Like who? Like who? Their bench is that shallow. Don't forget about the Atlantic article from 2015. All we need from you is your corporeal form. They already knew back in 2015. That is a decade ago. And I think it was April of 2015. So we are now talking over a decade before from when they knew that Biden wasn't there. And still, only in the last few months where they were like, all right, we got to go with Kamala. Seems like they got used to getting away with every little thing that they wanted to get away with. Until they didn't.
In English, I don't know what to tell you, but
no, she is.
Good. I mean, I'm not trying to be
understands
insensitive or cruel.
English, but
yeah,
she would rather be with a Hispanic nurse versus one that doesn't, so she could speak comfortably.
As an organization, you must prioritize something. We think that excellence should be, we must have an uncompromising pursuit and commitment to excellence and not equity. And
okay, anybody unfamiliar with the hot and crazy scale? If you would watch How I Met Your Mother, you wouldn't be very familiar with it. But, I mean, she doesn't seem that crazy. She's wrong. She's not super intelligent, or at least not well read on these things. But I don't get crazy from her. That being said, I don't know. I mean, if he was going to ask about some feminist shit, it might, go left. But based on what we've seen, if we have hotness on this metric, I'd say out of 10, she's solid 8. That's a solid 8. And
we
7.5. Just 7.5. Face could be, but 7.5. The crazy, I don't see a lot of crazy. So maybe only the natural craziness of any woman here. Then yeah, I'm gonna say she fares well. She fares in the hotter than she is crazy situation.
we must have an uncompromising pursuit and commitment to excellence and not equity. And we believe the more that we embrace these mediocre, this kind of culture of mediocrity, excellence will slip. And again, I could go through, at the core, DEI wants a lot of things, including racial quotas. We don't believe in racial quotas. Our best institutions would fall apart with racial quotas. We want excellence quotas and the best and the ones that earned it to be able to get in those positions. Thank you for your good faith conversation.
Wait, can I ask?
Really quick, we're running out of time. One last question.
Okay.
Hurry it up, Yadge.
So aside from DEI, I also wanted to ask you to confirm the murky gray area again with sexual assault. In a previous video, you mentioned that if there was two 19-year-olds, they were drunk, and then
yes, if they're in top. So again, no.
Okay, now we're gonna find out, because now we're talking about her dating situation, which is more where the relevance of crazy is. Because you could have crazy political ideas and not necessarily have crazy, not be crazy in the dating context. And here we go. We're talking about two 19-year-olds. Both are drunk, and only the man is doing something wrong.
In a previous video, you mentioned that if there was two 19-year-olds, they were drunk, and then
yes, if they're intoxicated. So again, no means no, and stop means stop. But you would both agree if two parties are intoxicated, there's gray area, right?
No, I don't.
Actually, yes, the law says that consent cannot be given or withdrawn if both parties or either party is intoxicated. That's the law. The law here in California is that if one party is intoxicated, it is rape by either the woman or the man. That's gray area. So did you know that if you have sex with an intoxicated person, you're a rapist? Did you know that?
I didn't.
That's what the law says. That's what I meant by gray area.
Gray as fuck. Shout out to Box here with the $2, adding another push-up to the swole goal. And of course, we are past the 3-hour mark, so that keeps the party raging. Of course, another treat for Morty. Thank you so much. She said she is 100% keyed a guy's car. Taking bets. Anybody want to take that bet? Anybody want to take that bet? I would say no, but I wouldn't put money on it.
I'm a rapist. Did you know that?
I didn't.
That's what the law says. That's what I meant by gray area. I encourage people to look into that because when it's past 2 a.m. and both parties are intoxicated, by law, they're actually both committing rape. According to California law and national law in every state, if one or both parties are intoxicated, consent is not a thing. You are not allowed to have sex with that person under that circumstance.
Which is fair, but stupid. And if it was actually enforced fairly, that'd be better, but it would still be stupid. It should just be, you are responsible for what you do. Full stop. If you're drunk as fuck and you get behind the wheel, don't nobody say, well, who's drunk, so you couldn't consent to driving your car. Why is this different?
Okay, so then to you, then it's not a gray area. It's sexual assault by law.
No, I'm not willing to call every single person that's had sex while they're drunk a rapist. Are you?
Well, if the girl is saying no.
They're both intoxicated. So what they say is irrelevant. That's the point. And no one wants to talk about this, is that according to the law, intoxication removes consent. Literally, you are not allowed to give, receive, deny, or remove consent if you are intoxicated. So the example that I was giving in that viral clip was very clear. Two people that are intoxicated post 2 a.m. Who is right, who is wrong? Case-dependent gray area, all while saying under normal circumstances, no mean no and stop means stop. But let me ask you another question. Do you think if two 18-year-olds are sitting on a park bench and the man goes in for a kiss with the girl and it's unwanted, did he commit sexual assault?
Did
the man commit sexual assault?
So, this is where we're going to get an accurate reading on where she is on the crazy scale. 7.5 on the hot scale. Let's see where she is. We'll hear the whole question again.
Do you think if two 18-year-olds are sitting on a park bench,
two 18-year-olds sitting on a park bench,
and the man goes in for a kiss with the girl,
so he tries to go in for a kiss, but she's like, no,
and it's unwanted, did he commit sexual assault?
So her answer here is going to give us a lot of information. So I said, what if she is perfectly positioned within the hot, crazy matrix, but she doesn't fuck? Uno reverse! What do we mean by doesn't fuck? What do you mean by doesn't fuck? I don't know how many college girls don't fuck. Maybe at BYU, but what is this? University of California, whatever. This is California. She definitely fucks. She ain't get them titties for no reason.
Bench, and the man goes in for a kiss with the girl, and it's unwanted. Did he commit sexual assault?
Did
the man commit sexual assault to try to kiss a girl?
Did he ask?
So let me be clear.
What if we say no? He just read the situation wrong and was like, I think she wants me to kiss her. So I'm going to go in. Ew, no. Oh, I'm sorry. I misread the signals. That's the situation. No, he didn't ask. Because that's a mood killer.
To try to kiss a girl.
Did he ask?
So let me be clear. A man has to ask a woman verbally before he has to kiss a girl. Is that your position?
He can either ask or she can make it very known that she
make it known how.
Can she make it known? How can she, without talking, how can she make it known?
She can back away. She can make a face. Same thing if they were drunk.
You want to know why romance has left this country? You have to ask before you kiss somebody on a first date. Excuse me, can I kiss you? Really?
I think it'd be kind of romantic.
Do you want?
I half believe her, and I half think she's just saying it because she's thinking of like the hot guy that she does want to kiss. He's like, honey, would you mind if I kissed you? That's not really what we're talking about, because we're talking about a guy that you don't want to kiss. It's romantic if you want to kiss the guy, but that's not how you would take it if it was some crusty dude.
I think it'd be kind of romantic.
Do you understand?
But either way, I think regardless, there is way to do it non-verbally.
Hold on, non-verbally. So it's like a mind trick.
No,
does that hold up in court non-verbally?
I'm backing up. You keep getting closer. I don't know why.
But hold on. If you do it verbally, stop. Don't get near me. I'm talking about two people that are next to a park bench and they're having a good time.
She can scooch.
Oh, she can scooch.
She can scooch.
And the guy goes in for.
She can scooch. That's it. That's how we fix rape in this country. Scooch. You just scooch. You just scooch. Philip said, I literally just saw a video today of a girl talking about a first date where the guy asked to give her a kiss at the end of the date, and she said that gave her the ick. She wanted him to just kiss, as most women do, which is why this is a stupid line of thinking. This is why you don't ask a fish how to fish. You ask the fisherman.
And they're having a good time.
She can scooch.
Oh, she can scooch.
She can scooch
And
away.
the guy goes in for a move. He's a sexual assaulter.
No.
That's what, to be consistent, unwanted kisses, unwanted sexual advance is a
The
sexual assault.
difference is that one of them is removing consent, and the other
But
one
she didn't say
didn't even
anything.
realize that he was.
Exactly. You're establishing that she removed consent. How did he know that she removed consent? Oh, he didn't. So ignorance is now sexual assault. That's why I'm not on the apps. And I will flirt in person, as y'all saw. But I shout out to Stephen Lemire was like, oh my God, you flirted? Like, whoa. Just because I'm not trying to fucking get titty pics from everybody in my chat except for Ty, because she keeps bringing them up. I forgot where I was going. But yeah, like, I know how to fucking flirt with women. I'm a 35-year-old man. I know what I'm doing.
Sexual advance is a
The
sexual assault.
difference is that one of them is removing consent, the other
But
one
she didn't
didn't
say
even
anything.
realize that
Hold on.
he was asking
She didn't. They're having a nice time. He thinks that he's getting the signals. He misreads it. All of a sudden, we're willing to call that guy at 18 years old a sexual assaulter because he went in for a move.
I'm saying that the difference between
just yes or no, bitch,
in that situation and the sexual assault is that she
No, I'm
removed
saying you
consent
have-
versus the person who they didn't realize that they were trying to initiate consent.
No, but I'm saying though, in order for you to be consistent, that has to be sexual assault. And I'm not willing to call the millions of boys across the country going in for their first kiss guilty of sexual assault. I
But
think
you're-
that's insane.
But you're willing to call it a murky gray area for
No,
the men
you're
who are
agreeing.
drunk and pinning down women,
No,
even though
I'm
they're
not.
saying
Whoa. Who was talking about pinning down women? The sign language has arrived, guys. Shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. You have to force in order to make your point. Nobody was talking about that.
But you're willing to call it a murky gray area for
No,
the men
you're
who are
agreeing.
drunk and pinning down women,
No,
even though
I'm
they're
not.
saying no.
I never said that. Hold on, let's read.
Right, but Box, that's specifically what we're saying. That sometimes you got to give it a go. Read the situation. You can be wrong. You can read the situation and think, I think she wants me to kiss her. And so you're saying that being wrong is sexual assault. Correct? Box, that's your position. Being wrong about whether somebody wants you to kiss them is sexual assault. They got friends. I got this. I know what I'm doing. So that is your position, Box.
Murky gray area for
No,
the men
you're
who are
agreeing.
drunk and pinning down women,
No,
even though
I'm
they're
not.
saying no.
I never said that. Hold on, let's recap. You're
Then
not
you
listening.
be
I said
consistent.
no means no, stop means stop, but intoxication there.
Wait, you're saying the law is that two 18-year-olds sitting on a bench sober, kid goes in for a first kiss and she doesn't want it and he stops right there. That's under the law. That's sexual assault?
Is no consent. I've said that. And we must be morally clear and legally clear. People don't know that. According to the law, if one or both parties is intoxicated, consent does not exist. We don't teach.
That's what we were talking about with the law, that consent doesn't matter when they're intoxicated. This situation, we're not talking about intoxication.
Our kids that. Every time you go to a drunk frat party and someone is intoxicated, woman or man, and they have...
How does that change anything about this except for the fact that you're adding a gayness element to that? How does that change it at all? Right? So according to your logic, if I didn't want that, which I definitely don't, I love you, brother, but not like that. So if you thought, hey, I think I'm doing, nobody said it wasn't awkward. Who's talking about awkwardness? We're talking about the law. You're claiming that the law is if you misread a situation and then stop immediately when you realize what the situation is, that's sexual assault from just a kiss. I just want to nail you down to what you can call the cops on anything. Why can't you just answer the fucking question? Yes or no? Do you believe that two 18-year-olds sitting on a bench, one man, one woman, they're having a good time, It seems from the outside like they're having a good time, but for whatever reason, which she is allowed to have, she doesn't want him to kiss her. But to him, he's reading subtle signs that these women give. I saw a video that was like, how do men not know? Like, you just do like that, and then you should know. It's like, whoa, wait, what? Did you give the signal there? So being wrong about someone wanting to kiss you, in your opinion, or by law, if you're claiming that, is illegal and is sexual assault. That's what I'm trying to get. Just answer the question. Yes, you think that is sexual assault, or no, you think that is not sexual assault. And then if you have more to explain after that, please. What do you think that is sexual assault or no?
Don't teach our kids that. Every time you go to a drunk frat party and someone is intoxicated, woman or man, and they have sex, they are then the victim of rape. I'm not willing to say that 30 million.
Yeah, so that's crazy. It's just crazy.
People then commit rape. And yes, that's the point. There's a lot of nuance and case dependency to these issues. And unfortunately, I don't think you meant to. You've exhibited why young men are moving right so dramatically.
I mean, hey, but you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That ain't what she's thinking about. And just like any film was talking about, that is a very common ick to talk about it. I mean, well, is it okay? Because that's seen as a beta move that an alpha would just go for it. And I mean, like, let's be honest. Have you ever explicitly asked to kiss someone? I haven't. I've just done it.
Issues. And unfortunately,
because that makes me a rapist.
I don't think you meant to. You've exhibited why young men are moving right so dramatically because they don't want to be called rapists at every turn because they made one unwanted advance to a woman at a party. Thank you very much.
Wait. Let's see. What's the
woman at a party. Thank you very much.
See that. So now we know. Now we know for sure that they're fake because this ain't nothing and that wasn't there and these don't look like that matches that. Fake. And well, but I mean, even still, we can tell what's going on. We went over the whole thing with the baggy pants and that's its own thing, but we can still tell those titties are fake. Let's do a poll. What do you think? Damn titties fake or not? All right. Last one, guys. Last one, unless you want to keep the party rated.
Yes.
Oh, we got to. What the fuck?
Okay. Yes.
Hold on. Okay. Let's just all be aware. This seems like a child. I don't know if it is just a person my height, but it does look like a child. So let's keep that in mind. Yeah, don't forget about the poll. Damn titties fake or nah?
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yes, this is a little girl. Keep that in mind.
What's your name?
That's kind of a base shirt. I mean, I would never. You would have to go pretty far for me to vote for one, but kind of base.
Dakota.
Nice to meet you, Dakota. How old are you?
I'm 11.
Amazing. Give it up for Dakota being here.
So, I'm pro-life. I'm a fiscal conservative, and I know I want to get into politics when I grow up. I don't want to get into massive debt for a political science degree. What concrete steps
You don't need it, Dakota.
can I take now in order to achieve the goal of doing my part to make America great again?
That's right.
Can we dilly Dakota? Dilly to Dakota.
You should go to Hillsdale.
Why is reading a shirt weird? Oh, because I read a shirt and then you thought about what was underneath the child's shirt. Yikes.
College, America's greatest college, and start studying now. Start taking classes, reading books. You have to be in charge of your own education. And the fact you're thinking like this at 11 is a great sign. God bless you, and the future is very bright. Thank you. Do you want a hat?
We'll do one more. Because that was kind of one more, unless.
Hi, Charlie.
Nala Ray in the building. I did not expect Nala Ray in the building. Hold on. I've been taking notes on times to clip this up because I'm going to clip this to hell. 320. 320. Nala Ray, what you got? Not Nola. That's what they call that Norland. There we go. Adam said a kiss is not a contract, but it's very nice. It's very, very nice. Just because we've been playing tons of hockey doesn't mean you get to score the goal that's in my jockeys. Fair enough. Indeed, she is still on her Jeebus arc. There was it might have been him, but I think it was okay, so Nala Ray, somebody just sat with her. Oh, it was Charlie. Okay, so this was a week later. That was a week later. This is. Oh, okay. I did see some of this. It's very just like vanilla. But yeah. So a week prior, we got Nala Ray in the building, and what a perfect example! What a perfect example of the genes. Like this is a lot of stuff from here to here. This should not be bulging out like that. That's unhealthy. And because this is tight here, the belly starts here, but she shoves it down into here. Now, I'm not going to be, let's keep it a buck. She's hot, obviously. But she's gross. And, wait, yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I think these are worse. I think those are worse. I would take the other ones because at least she is able to fit into her, fucking clothes.
Hi, Charlie. I'm Nala Ray.
Hi, Charlie. I'm Nala Ray.
It's so nice to be here today. So I was one of OnlyFans' top models for the last 5 years. And
yeah, of course, we'd be like, woo, yeah, we don't ever see your tits.
And I got saved, and I radically gave my life to the Lord and gave that life.
That's that, right? Ty said, my favorite park bench scenario was in Cuba. The statue of John Lennon sat on a park bench, and the inscription is in the concrete is, you may say I'm a dreamer.
Praise the Lord.
Do you get it or no?
So I want to know, would you support a ban on porn in America, and what would you do to make that happen?
If it's, unfortunately, I don't think it's legal.
Yeah, after I made all my money from porn now, I want it to go away.
But absolutely. First of all, porn is no different than a digital opiate and an addiction. We've seen states that have made it harder to access, and porn rates have gone down.
Make drugs and porn legal. Just be a better person, and we don't need the government to tell us you shouldn't be doing that thing. Remember de Blasio with the fucking sodas? How is this different? Because you believe that porn is worse than soda? I think there's a strong argument that you would be wrong.
Yeah.
But you were once an OnlyFans model.
Yeah.
Guys, we are at 50-50. We going back to another girl, but them titties fake. Yes or no? We gotta break the tie. Somebody. There's one more person here who hasn't voted. Please break the tie.
Access and porn rates have gone down.
Yeah.
But you were once an OnlyFans model.
Yeah.
What would you have to say?
Yeah. People don't talk like that. That's still you doing a thing.
To the danger and the damage that does to young people.
Honestly, so much. It depends on sex as well. It has different effects on men than it does women. Like for men, it shuts them down. They don't know how to be in good relationships. They don't know how to treat women. For women, it's all emotional, and they just continue.
No, dude, this is just what women look like these days.
You to get compared to the women in porn, you know.
Correct.
So honestly, I'd say some self-control would go a really long way, which is also one of the fruits of the spirit. So I think America needs a revival right now. That's what I
Praise
think.
the Lord.
So you guys have an issue with the pandering to the transes all June. Everybody is rainbow marketing, rainbow this. And it's, oh my God. Oh my God. And then we talk about pandering to black people. Oh my God. That's so the bigotry of low expectations. But you get a fucking whore like this being like, well, it's the word, it's the God. And you guys are like, oh my God, she's saying the thing I like. She's saying the thing I like. She's one of us. It is pathetic. If you are a Christian, you should be embarrassed that your clan has accepted this person. Not just everyday people. I'm talking about the Charlie Kirks, the Michael Knowles, the people who have sat down and interviewed her and given her a platform. I'm not saying she's not allowed to have a platform. But if you're going to be like, look, this is good, then what you're saying is go make a name showing your asshole and then just say the right words from the Bible and you're all good with us.
To the spirit. So I think America needs a revival right now. That's what I
Praise
think.
the Lord. Stay there for a second.
The pandering is pathetic. It's pathetic.
I have a message to men, and then I want you to give a message to women. Men, if you are consuming OnlyFans, it is no different than you going out with a prostitute every night. The only difference is that you guys get to hide behind some screen.
I'll agree with that. There's no reason. There is absolutely no reason to go on OF when P-Hub exists.
You are contributing to the dehumanization and delegitimization of millions of young women
You're
that are nothing
supplying the
more.
demand.
You are supplying the demand of the new online sex trade, and you need to stop doing it and repent in front of God for contributing to this awful cancer of selling your body for cash online.
Amen.
That is my message to men. What is your message to women that sell their bodies online?
Don't be like me, rich and everybody loves me and I did a bad thing, but then I said some magic words and now all the Christians love me and I'm making even more money. That's the way to do this. That's what Christianity is all about. In America, yeah, it is.
Honestly, you're so much more worth it than that. I don't know who hurt you in your life, if you have daddy issues, mommy issues, but you were made for so much more in the eyes of God. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, and that is it. Mic drop.
God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Honey, other people are supposed to deem a mic drop a mic drop. You don't get to, unless you're going to actually drop the mic. I don't have any kind of membership, but I don't like her. I don't like her, and I don't understand why more Christians are not up in arms against her.
Thank you.
Hello.
All right, guys. Well, that is, I agree. Porn is not the problem. It's the fucking gooners that are obsessed with it, just like anything else in our society. Anything else in our society. You want to talk about alcohol, you want to talk about drugs, you want to talk about gambling, you want to talk about any of these things. Those are not the problem. It's the individual people who take our liberties. And yes, watching people fuck is a liberty. And people go too far with it. This is why we can't have nice things. When I said, no, please, Donald Trump, stop. And been violated. Please don't stop. And been violated more than once. That shit is how I learned to create my own force field. And I don't hate men for my inability to fend off their clumsy advances. Dilly to that. Because obviously, that is unacceptable. But there's a difference between the people who will do shit like that and the people who won't, aka most of humanity. And in the same way that because men typically only date women, they have issues with women overall, women do the same thing, which because some dude 10 years ago did some creepy shit, that it's my fault. And I've talked before about how, unfortunately it was destiny, but destiny talks about boundaries, and women in general are bad at setting boundaries and holding to those boundaries. And I mean, he's a fucking sex pest, so I think he would know. And the idea that women, because of the fact that you are weaker, because of the fact that you have to be on the defensive in those situations when we don't. Now listen, oh, there we go. Poll is broken, or the tie is broken. 60% of you agree with me. Damn titties fake. But yeah, I mean, the idea that, well, men should do this, that, and the other has nothing to do with your responsibility to take care of yourself. Bad people exist. Full stop. Just because they are bad doesn't mean that you don't have the responsibility to defend against that. Unless you want to pretend that by wanting it, you can change humanity, then that is something that you have to keep going. Oh my God, KFT in the building with the $1.99. You know what? You came in early enough. You normally, since they already closed down, I'd be like, all right, well, add this to the push-up, and of course, Morty gets his treat. But the party's not raging. But since the last one was Nala Ray, we will do one more. One more. Everybody put KFT in the chat for keeping the party raging for one more. One more. We got one more.
So much. Thank you.
Hello, Charlie. All right. So what I believe is that healthcare is a human right. So we need.
No, it's not. No service from other people is guaranteed to you by right. That's just not what that word means. I said everybody put KFT in the fucking chat. We will end this shit right now.
Free healthcare, aka universal healthcare.
Okay, define healthcare.
It's a.
Really?
You're trying to pigeonhole me right now.
Bruh. You just said something should be a human right, and you don't know what it is? How can you argue that it should be a human right if you don't know what it is?
Oh, you're trying to pigeonhole me right now.
Nope. Just
define what you think should be free.
Define all humans should have healthcare, regardless of.
What is that? Oh my God.
What is healthcare?
The right to see a doctor.
Okay.
At any time for any reason?
Yes.
Paid for by.
At least we're getting a definition now.
Somebody else.
Paid by the rich.
What?
So.
Which rich? How rich? $100,000? $10,000?
We should believe.
Hold on. Time out. Is abortion healthcare?
Yes.
Got it. So we should pay for other people's abortions. Got it.
Yes.
Is breast augmentation healthcare?
Yes.
Okay, so we should pay for everyone's boob jobs. Got it. So.
Gender affirming care, is that healthcare? Of course it is. That's life-saving care.
Yeah, he will. Yeah. Is massage therapy healthcare?
Yes.
Okay, so we should pay for everyone massages. Got it. Is acupuncture healthcare?
Yes.
Got it. So basically, healthcare is not actually immediate needs; it's lifestyle.
Yep. KFC's been in the hospital the past few days. Well, I don't know what was going on, but I am very, very glad that you are home. Dilly dilly to being home. Something we too often take for granted, right? Too often. I don't say Jordan Peterson is in the crowd somewhere. No, not enough words. There would need to be more words. Well, it depends on what you mean by healthcare. I said, nothing about Islam. Don't intrude a polite conversation with your ignorance. Nope. I am totally in agreement with the fact that Islam sucks. Islam sucks. Remember, Attack ideas, not people. You are better when you attack ideas. When you attack people, you become just like them. Islam is shit. Muslims are people.
Healthcare?
Yes.
Got it. So basically, healthcare is not actually immediate needs, it's lifestyle.
Well, here's the thing, though. In Europe, healthcare is free.
No, you got to define it. You said anytime you see a doctor. So just be clear, under your way of living, everyone, the rich would have to pay for everyone getting massages, acupuncture.
90%.
Okay.
There we go. Dilly dilly. Do that. The worst ideology that has the most followers. I think, American leftism is pretty goddamn bad, but there's not as many leftists as there are Muslims, and either way, Islam is worse than leftism.
The rich would have to pay for everyone getting massages, acupuncture.
90%.
Okay. So
where do you get that?
I want to make sure we're clear, including abortions. At any time.
Of course. Oh, of course, including abortions.
That people want.
Yes.
Got it. Who is rich?
Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and I want to add this in. The upper income people like doctors, surgeons, they should pay.
How much?
Oh, for the doctors and surgeons?
What should the tax rate be for someone making $1 million a year?
65.
Well, why? That's dumb. Why were you going way outside? You have this thing where you're saying these people should pay for you to get what your lifestyle. We've established that it's not about needs; it's about lifestyle. Then you say, "Oh, the doctors in the upper class." Give me a number. How much money do you have to make a year before you are required to pay for other people's lifestyle? When you're required to pay for other people's massages and boob jobs, what is that number?
Doctors and surgeons.
What should the tax rate be for someone making $1 million a year?
I don't know why he went that way.
65%.
Got it. So let's play that out in California. If you are in California, if you earn $1 million a year and 65% of it goes to the federal government, 13% goes to the state government, then you have property tax, sales tax. So therefore, 85% of everything you earn. So making $1 million a year, you keep $150,000. Is that fair?
Yes.
This is on full display what they want to do. They want to take 85% of your money if you happen to be successful.
Remember what Reagan
How dare you be successful? Now you are punished.
Did to the working class and the middle class.
Reagan. Yeah, fuck Reaganomics. Sorry, but I'm not a lifelong Republican. He was in office the year I was born for 31 days that year. You know what I mean? But yeah, he had some good ideas. He did some good shit, but also did some terrible shit. No fault divorce was Reagan.
Money if you happen to be successful.
Remember what Reaganomics did to the working class and the middle.
Socialists, we can say, are bad people.
Reagan never had an 85% tax rate on anybody. But if you count sales tax.
No, it was a 90%. Don't you remember?
County tax, local tax, death tax. We tax every single portion of it. The problem is not that we don't have enough taxes. The problem is that government is too big, spending our money on stuff that does not matter, that the private sector can do a much better job of. And so you say healthcare is a right. You can't even bear.
Is it though? Of course not.
Really define it. No, I don't think that if you work hard, should pay for someone else's massages.
All right, so let's say if you're a lower.
Oh, so now we're gonna pivot. Now, okay, fine. You just made a strong point, but instead of acknowledging that you made a strong point, I'm just gonna pivot and move the goalpost.
Income. Let's say if you grew up in a lower income family, would you want free health?
Unfortunately, sir, you are very, very, very wrong about this. They are very real, and they vote more than the normie liberals.
Care as well.
First of all, nothing is free. It's paid for by somebody else. Secondly, we already have Medicaid. There's a lot wrong with it. We already have the VA system. There's a lot wrong with it. And the point being is this. We should try to get people off government benefits, not on government benefits.
Yep.
We should try to make sure we have less people on the government dole, not more people on the government dole. And so
exactly, this falls right in line with that video that we just watched from the black mother being, if you get a job, I ain't getting no Section 8 in my link card, and you can have a harder time getting your own Section 8. So just don't get a job, and the government gonna take care of us.
Socialized healthcare would be a disaster for this country. It would be a catastrophe.
No, it's not. Bernie Sanders and AOC said it's not.
Oh, got it. So it must be true. All right.
I support them.
I'm sure you do. Thank you very
Trump
much.
Sucks.
As Donald Trump would say, they're not sending their best.
They're not sending their best. Adam said, trickle-down economics was not taxing the rich. Yup. It's almost like he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. All right, guys. So we are past the 3.5-hour mark. So you know what that means. You know what that means. It's time for the swoggle. Guys, you paid me. Now pay yourself. What do we got? Did I add the last two? I don't remember. We had 20, 30, 5, 55, 57, 59. Okay, so I missed that one. 59. That's only 6 super chats, guys. Like, remember, the 99 cents will work, but the goal is met. Thank you. Of course, Buckmaster General as our sponsor. Time to do some push-ups. So 58. What's half of 58? 25 plus 4. 31, right? 31. You can't do 31. Do 30. If you can't do 30, do 25. Yeah, fuck it. If you can't do 25, do 20. If you can't do 20, hey! There we go. Again. So now we're up to 30. 30 push-ups. 30 push-ups. Shout out to Dylan. Where you at there, brother? Welcome to the party. Coming to the last minute for the swoggle time. Pay yourself. I gotta do 31. You can't do 33. What is it? 60. I gotta do 30. Yeah. 1. And we'll round it then. 30. Let's fucking go. You can do it. If you can't, let's do more. Let's go. Push up. Let's do this. All right, get ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Oh, made it by the skin of my teeth. And that is the swoggle. This has been a swole stream. We are getting up there. One of these days, you're gonna bulk me up. Thank you. So very much, guys. For the money, guys. So a big shout out to each of you. Thank you so very, very much. Not only taking care of the puppy, but taking care of me. I drink a protein shake every day. Every single day. If nothing else, that is what I'll have. There are days where carbs is where I need to add up. But if you've been in the after party, you've been seeing me cooking and doing all that shit. Again, guys, if you join the Discord right now, the show's about to end. So you have to do it right now in order to get the day pass. Come through. We are headed to the after party. Let's fucking go. Thank you so very, very much for hanging out, guys. Once again, that is Morty the Overlord, and I have been your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, we please do hit that subscribe. Until next time. Peace.